Hello, love wrestling. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards.
Can we start off with the biggest news of the week? The Rats lost! If you got the budget, I've got the time.
There he is.
Hey, boss!
There's the boss.
Hey!
The man with the finest beard on this screen.
Canadian men, boys, shut the hell up. Let you talk.
You see, the Rads are resourceful. When I got beef with somebody, I can find a way to talk to them.
And listen between two beers.
Hello, love wrestling. It is Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. And you all know what that means. At least you better know what that means.
I don't know what it means. Tell me what it means.
It means it's week 1 of the NFL season, Pluggo.
It's opening night.
Starts. There are exactly 0 days until football starts. No, it means that it's time for a new episode of Between Two Beards, episode 224.
At least
and we got one of our favorites hopping on with us.
Yeah.
He is in the back. We're going to bring him on momentarily. But we have Graham Matthews, Wrestlerant, popping on tonight. One of our favorite individuals.
And I don't know if he knows ball, but we're going to ask him.
I mean, we can ask.
He's from a certain country that he might like some teams that you don't like, and I would love that.
Well, no, he's a New England fella. But he's in one of those states that goes halfway. So I don't know what half he's on.
Well, I guess
he's either on the enemy or he's on, I guess
I should ask, do you want me to get my housekeeping out of the way now, or do you want me to wait for Graham?
I mean, could Graham add to the housekeeping?
I don't know, but
is it football housekeeping?
No, you don't you remember? I did a little something this weekend.
I know you did. I
got to talk about it.
All right. Well, let's why don't you do the thing
where you introduce what he thinks. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, we do have. Okay, Ryan, that's not making the screen. So.
And then Zach says it's Happy National Eat an Extra Dessert Day.
I have done that too many times in my life.
I was going to say, I've done that too many days that now I'm trying to slim down. I found some healthy desserts that allow me to eat extra, but I'm trying to be good. But I'm not going to waste any more time. I would be interested to see what Graham here thinks about this incident that went down this Saturday night. It's Graham Matthews of Wrestlerant, one of our absolute favorite people in the world. He's a busy man, and he's finally got some time for us. He's slumming it tonight on Beards. What's up, Graham?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me back on. I appreciate it. I know we've been in contact the last couple of weeks with a couple different invites and whatnot, and today worked out. I appreciate you accommodating me and having me on for the first night of football action. I'm wearing my XFL jersey. I know nothing about football, but I have my XFL.
We told you 100 times. Anytime you're free, it's your time. All you have to do is say, I'm available, and it's no questions asked. So you don't know anything about football, so you don't have like a team or an affiliation that you kind of like, I don't know anything about them, but that's my squad.
I'm probably going to go Chiefs just because they've won the Super Bowl the last 5 years. I jokingly am a fan of the Chiefs. I've been telling this to anyone that would listen to me the last 5 years that they are the team to beat because they've won out, the last 5 Super Bowls, 4 out of the last 5, something like that.
Before JPJ says his piece, because I know that probably wasn't the answer he was looking for. How do you feel about this?
Good for them. Good for them. It was a long time coming. I'm surprised it didn't happen at the Super Bowl itself with maximum exposure. That's how I would have.
Well, they would.
You can't propose to Taylor Swift after getting beat by 40.
Yeah, I think if the result would have went the other way and Kansas City would have won that one last year, I think maybe. But no, listen, like I said, so when you get to New England, when you get to about halfway through the state of Connecticut, there's Giants fans. So like Connecticut is usually halfway, half of them lean towards New England, Boston-ish team, and the other half lean towards New York because it's kind of in the middle. And the thing is, the Patriots were not an original football team. The Giants were around for a long time before the Patriots. So even fans like in Boston and Massachusetts and New England for a long time until the late 60s when the Patriots became a franchise, the closest football team that you saw or you read about or you listened to on the radio, they were the Giants. So the Giants do have a history of having a decent fan base even in Massachusetts and in all of New England, but obviously the success of the Patriots over the last 20 years, a lot of those people were probably overtaken by the Patriots because like Graham said, if you're a casual or you don't know much, most of the time you're going to cling to the winners. And, we did a lot of that. We did a lot of that.
Can I answer the boss's question really quick? He said, why do Eagle fans say go Birds when there are 5 teams that go after Birds? I think they started saying it because there was this meme of a drunken Philadelphia Eagle fan that just obnoxious.
You don't say.
He kept going, go Birds, go Birds. He just kept yelling it in a meme, and I think they kind of adopted it as
one of the 98% of them every week. Anyway.
Oh boy. At least you didn't say you're an Eagles fan, Graham, because this could have got off to a real rough start.
Yeah. I know they're playing tonight. I do know that much. I know they're playing the Cowboys.
They should have a quite easy victory, I would think, this evening. But, it is what it is.
Hi, Oliver. Oliver's waving to you guys in the corner over there.
What's going on,
buddy? But before we dive into anything else, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Share this live out to your friends. Let them know you want to hang out with the 3 coolest guys on the planet, I guess. But, yeah, Graham, so Saturday. Yep. I technically made my independent wrestling debut.
Dang.
Technically speaking.
Technically.
Now the only reason I bring this up is because the gentleman. So I answered an open challenge. This gentleman, Jorge Bravo, had an open challenge. He didn't have an opponent. I was angling to be the guy to answer said open challenge. They allowed me to stand up, walk up to the ramp, walk up to the stairs, talk some smack, and then point to the guy that came out. And that so technically I was on a show with Moose, JDC, Nick Sinuel, Matthew Raywald. So technically I was booked on a pretty stacked card. And the only reason I bring this up is because said gentleman today has told me, his name is Jorge Bravo, has told me, Pluggo, that I got my 15 minutes of fame, even though he lost in 12 seconds. So I had him shook for his actual opponent who took care of business because I was in his head. So I just had to put that out there into the ether. And I told him that I would bring that up tonight and let the world know that, watch out, world. Getting ready, baby. I might be coming. I don't know. You don't know. You don't know.
He's going to be a surprise entrant in the Rumble next year. That's what he's aiming.
In Saudi Arabia.
It's Saudi. They're going to fly him out to Saudi. He's going to do it. He's going to do
it. Listen. Hunter is going to make the call. He's going to be like, listen, we got all these spots open at Saudi. Can you fly out? And I'll be like, I got to make sure my passport's in check. I don't even have a passport. So
I saw the report from Fightful that the Saudi king specifically wanted you, Pluggo. That's what I heard.
And it was all off of that one moment where I stood up, walked to the ring, walked up the stairs, said something, and then just walked away. Pointed and walked away.
They were natural.
I will tell you this, though. I took my youngest with me, and full disclosure, full shoot, I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit. So when I got there, they absolutely were like, hey, come down here. They called me by my shoot name, which I was like, nobody ever does that anymore. So that's wild. And then like he got to go in the locker room and he thought that was the coolest thing. And
That's
then he's
cool.
like, so my son had a blast. So shout out to RCW for letting me technically be booked on your show, do something goofy. Hopefully we can work together in the future. I love going to those shows. So maybe there's some things in the work. I don't necessarily know if I have a run in me, like an independent wrestling run, but we'll see. We shall
Fair
see.
enough.
Always good for
Fair.
a one-off, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
it was at the place that I should have did a touching grass video because I was at the South Bend Cubs Stadium where I had famously touched the grass. I did it again. I was on there, and then So, what do you think? Should I keep going? Should I try to get some more bookings?
I mean, are they paying you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how much. I did not get paid for this set
All right, well,
appearance, but
if you're taking bumps, that needs to be currency involved.
yeah.
If you're taking bumps, that's how I look at it.
Is that how it is? Is that
If
how
you're
it
taking
works?
a bump, you're paying me.
Are
I'm
you
paying
my?
you.
Are you?
Taking a
Are
bump.
you not? Are you guys going to be my management team?
I would gladly. I will
Absolutely.
swing a chair.
All right.
I will swing a. I will
Oh.
take out a ref. I will do what I have to do. I will do what I have to do. Spencer, I did see that right before we went live. There was a press release. Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather
Our boxing
are boxing in an exhibition match against each other.
on a scale of 1 to 10. How interested are you in that?
About a 2.
Yeah.
About
Same.
a 2.
That's
10
crazy.
15 years ago.
Yeah,
on
I
a
was going to
scale
say
of 1 to 10?
if you wanted to give me that, 15, 20 years ago. Now you're talking. I would
Right.
be, But again, I'm kind of out on all of these exhibition. I feel like this is all, and I know that boxing still exists. All right, but when I was a youngster and a kid in like the 90s and even into the early 2000s, like boxing was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked boxing, but boxing was Pluggo, you and I, boxing was a huge deal. And now I feel like the only time you hear about boxing are these kind of exhibition fights where it's like Jake Paul, or it's an old boxer against somebody, or it's an old MMA UFC fighter against there. I just look at it and I know there are big boxing matches still, the heavyweights, some of them, but most of them are European or kind of over in that area. But Canelo has a big fight coming up, but it's like, I feel like the actual like real boxing match, like those don't really move the needle anymore. It's this kind of special attraction stuff where I think most of it's rigged. I don't think any of it's really real. They're not real boxing matches. It's like, don't try to hit him in the head or do like, it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Listen, I only watch real fighting. That's why I cover wrestling. I only like the real stuff. All that fake MMA and that fake boxing can, it's for other people. It's not for me. I like the real deal stuff here.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you hear that comment and you come at me in the comments saying that I'm the crazy one, come on, it's stage 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all.
Where do you think UFC got all of its flair and its flavor? They're like, oh, these wrestling guys got it down pretty good. Boxing, same thing. Like it's all for show.
They've all become pro wrestling. All these promotions,
major influence.
They used to shit on pro wrestling, and their fans were very not great to pro wrestling. Oh, I watch the real stuff, not the fake. Well, now guess what, guys? You're all cutting promos. You're all doing this. You're all doing everything pro wrestling was always doing.
That's right.
And I just find that to be funny after all this time. But all right, talking about pro wrestling,
stuff happened this week.
We are on the eve of what many are saying. In my opinion, if this does come to fruition, and we're going to talk about Clash in Paris, and obviously what happened at the end of that show kind of ties into Raw and what we're expecting tomorrow night. But obviously, the discourse and everything that everybody has been talking about all week is what feels like the imminent return, in my opinion, the biggest return that WWE has left, I think. As far as I think so. I can't think of another one.
This is the CM Punk return.
I was
now
gonna
that
say,
CM Punk has returned. There's
yeah.
nobody else. Every time there's any opportunity for women's return anywhere, it's AJ Lee. Even when it was in AEW, when CM Punk was there, when she got linked up with WoW for a little bit as I think a producer. There was, yeah, this is it. So if it does not happen, because why would CM Punk on Raw say, where's SmackDown, Pierce? And he says, oh, Chicago, and he's tremendous. It's got to be, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be. What if it's not? What if it's not?
Listen.
I almost want to drive out there tomorrow because
I said this.
I don't want to miss it. But
on Raw, they kind of showed Rhea Ripley and Punk talking a little bit, and there's been people saying, "Well, what if they go a different route? Whatever." Listen, it will be Rey Mysterio coming out to number 30 in the Royal Rumble all over again. Yeah. I don't care if it's Rhea Ripley, who's the most popular person in the company.
Yeah.
If it is her that comes out and not, or anyone that comes out and it is not AJ Lee in Chicago tomorrow night, they are getting booed out of the. I don't care who you are. I don't care if it was Stone Cold Steve Austin. Booed out maybe not Stone Cold. But that's what I feel like. It's going to be Rey Mysterio coming out at the Rumble all over again. No matter if it's not AJ.
Yeah, this is very reminiscent of Punk's AEW debut too, where that took place over a couple of span of weeks where they kind of hinted at that it would be him. It was in Chicago, the second Rampage and whatnot, and they sold out the United Center off of Punk's buzz alone, without ever actually announcing him. And you look at the ticket sales for tomorrow night at the Allstate Arena. I don't know the last time that they were in that building that they did that amount of people in the building, but it's pretty remarkable, to be honest with you. So, and it would do well regardless. It's not just AJ Lee. It's in Chicago. Cena's going to be on the show. There's those rumors today that it could be his final SmackDown ever. That's a pretty big deal. Obviously he debuted in Chicago too in 2002. So, it's very reminiscent of the Punk return back in 2021.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and we got to backtrack a little bit for those that don't know. So the reason that we're here is because at Clash, Becky Lynch. So Bronson and Braun were booted out of the building in their ring gear. Didn't even get a chance to get their bags. They were roaming the streets of Paris in their ring gear, which has got to be a scene. And then Seth Rollins had himself a backup plan, and it was his wife, Becky Lynch, which I think is fantastic. So she helps him retain. But then Monday, she comes out, basically slaps the crap out of CM Punk and basically tells him like he's pathetic and all this stuff. And there's nothing he could do about it. So he's just getting beat down, and you're like, oh, and I'm, of course, even if there wasn't this inkling of AJ Lee's return tomorrow night on SmackDown, I'd still be like, if I'm AJ Lee, I'm going to fight somebody for smacking my husband. I would hope Mrs. Pluggo would want to fight somebody for smacking the crap out of me. She might enjoy it. She might join in, but I would hope at least she thought about it. So, yeah, Becky Lynch in the Vision is a thing. I think that's a huge matchup. The rumor is it's WrestlePalooza is the date that CM Punk, AJ Lee, Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins match would happen. That's going to be crazy if that does happen.
First of all, I thought, the promo between Becky and Punk on Monday, I thought was excellent. I thought that was really, really good. I loved Becky kind of leaning in and saying, like, it wasn't just you think you leave and only affected him. Like, they were chanting my name during your match. They were chanting your name during my matches and letting me know that they didn't give a shit about what I was doing.
Yeah.
And they were bored with me and not liking the stuff that I was doing. And they were chanting your name the whole time and disrespecting me.
He goes, because I'm the best in the world. He didn't even care.
He didn't care. He was like, yeah, whatever. He was like, yeah. No, but like, I just thought that was really good. And then Punk, kind of his last line, he was like, far be it me to tell you that you're not great at what you do and you're not one of the greats, but you have terrible taste and you married a bum or whatever. So I just thought it was a good back and forth. It was like, Punk was respectful, even though he was insulting. And Becky she's been great for a long time. Speak of the devil, Boys to Men is singing the national anthem at this game tonight. Boys to Men, to throw it back.
Nice.
First CD I ever owned, Boys to Men 2. That's right.
Really?
Oh, yeah. That and TLC, Crazy, Sexy, Cool.
What was the first CD you ever owned, Grant?
Oh,
Graham.
God.
I know I said Grant. Graham.
Hey, listen, close enough.
I've been called worse, so maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Good question. I don't remember, to be honest with you, but I remember having Eminem CDs. I'm a couple years later. This is like early 2000s. Eminem and the whole soundtrack from when that movie came out in the early 2000s.
Oh, Holes. What a movie.
Great movie.
Whole
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf.
soundtrack. What was the banger on the whole soundtrack?
Oh, I don't want to sing it. First of all, I think that'd be terrible. But whatever the main
Oh.
theme song of you gotta go dig those. That song, bang.
Yeah.
That and the Shrek soundtrack. I own that.
This
too.
is a safe space, and I absolutely promise I won't clip out your singing for the internet to hear.
I don't trust you, but I take you. I appreciate that though.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was the song called Dig It. It was the song called
Yeah,
Dig It.
yeah. Dig
Yeah.
it on. I don't know if that's the same song. I think that's actually it might be the same song
Yeah.
that I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great song.
Mine
but-
is super random.
Mhm.
Like I remember vaguely. This wasn't a CD that I purchased. If I'm talking about one that I purchased, but my mom bought me a Pauly Shore comedy CD from a garage sale. So I just remember having that. That was the height of Pauly Shore's fame. But then the first CD I ever bought myself is it was a P Diddy.
Oh boy.
He was Puff Daddy, and it had and it was when you could buy like 2 or 3 tracks. It was like a sampler CD.
Oh, it was like yeah. It was a single, right? Well, that wasn't like
yeah,
a
it was
single
the
CD,
single.
they give you a
Yeah,
couple-
the single had Mace on it. The
Oh,
one where he's
Mace.
like,
Oh, yeah.
every step you that.
Oh,
one.
that's a tribute to Biggie.
Yeah, that had a couple. I just remember buying that and thinking like, all right, I don't know why,
Fair.
but I guess I was just that cool back in the
Fair
day.
enough. Do you remember
Now
the song? Do you remember the
didn't age
song?
well.
Remember the song "I Would Walk 500 Miles"? You know that famous.
Yeah, I remember that song. Yeah.
That was the first cassette that I ever owned.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
old. I'm very old.
That's
So
crazy.
I had
Only
was
cassette
back-
you'd ever need.
Probably. That was a banger, dude. That was a banger. No, but I thought on Monday night, especially after what we saw. Okay, so when it comes to this AJ stuff, that happens at Clash, right? And we're going to talk about the whole kind of Clash card too. But the main event happens. It's the Fatal 4-Way. I thought it was a good main event. I actually thought that Punk and LA Knight were going to end up like removing themselves to kind of in this match. And I thought Jay was going to be the one that would end up, but they went this route, obviously. And then we see Becky and it's like, okay, well, they're doing this. And I'm like, all right, well, what is this building towards? Like, it has to be building towards Punk with somebody on his side to get at Becky. It has to be AJ. And then immediately after that, Fightful releases a thing saying that it's been discussed and it's a go and all this stuff. And then we get the thing on Monday and she's slapping the crap out of him. And then Punk, basically says like, your husband's going to regret cashing in on me and you're going to regret putting your hands on me.
Yeah.
And then the
Mrs.
crowd
Plug
goes ape
goes to the
shit.
chat. Hi, honey.
Oh, there you go. Yes, we have
I
to
love
acknowledge
that.
always. Let's acknowledge.
My tag team partner in life, Mrs. Plugger.
There we go. And then we get that, and then like you said, Plug at the end of the night. Oh, where's SmackDown? Oh, Chicago. And then it's basically been like it's just a guarantee now that.
Dude, did you guys see that pic?
is-
AJ Lee posted a picture too. She is jacked right now.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
somebody goes, Becky's gonna regret that decision.
I mean-
Now, so Becky's part of the vision now, which I think is also need to say that I thought you had Nick Jonas on as your guest for 0.003 seconds. I fangirled before I realized you look like Nick Jonas. You get that one a lot. That's
So
good.
funny on that note. Fun fact on that note, I have gotten that before, not in the last 15 years. I would get that a lot when I was in like middle school. When the Jonas, I mean, they're big now, but like specifically when they were a lot bigger originally, like when they were like the Disney Channel
The
era.
Disney,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I got that a lot in middle school and a little bit in high school. It's been a good 15 years. I appreciate the reference. Thank you.
There you go. There you go.
Not bad company to be compared to.
Actually, this fun fact: this is Nick Jonas. He's just being coy. He's
This is my alter ego. Yeah, I'm just talking wrestling for the day. Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't
The
want
Jonas
people to
Brothers,
know.
they were actually at Fenway. The Jonas Brothers were a couple of a week or two ago.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. That was gonna say they performed. They performed at Fenway Park.
Yep.
Oh,
Listen, I didn't know. I think I knew a few people that went.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, they sold the shit out. That's how they
get
roll.
Real career renaissance, you know?
Oh yeah,
Crazy.
they're doing it. You know that place a lot. When they played "You Don't Know You're Beautiful," please, that place probably. That's a banger, dude. I worked at a grocery store for a few years of my life, and that shit played every 25 minutes, and that's exactly how that went every day. Every day I was singing it. But you know, it is what it is.
Well, there's a lot of different directions we could go with how this AJ Lee Becky thing. I don't know which way you want to go with it, JPJ. But I mean, the reason that I think it's being discussed is obviously a couple weekends is a big weekend, Wrestlepalooza, and they're trying to counter. But we can also, I don't know the vision. I don't know. There's a lot of ways that this has been spun and gone, and we're in for
everyone
a
knows my
wild
opinion.
ride.
Everyone knows my opinion on how I feel about this event taking place to begin with. I think they're clearly making this event. It feels like they're building this event to be like the second or third biggest show of the year for them, obviously with the ESPN angle and just if you're bringing back AJ for this event and you're potentially, even though I have certain opinions of one of the individual, but you're going to do Cena and Brock, you're doing EO and Steph, like they're building this event to be a massive, massive, massive event. But listen, I don't like the counter programming stuff. I don't think the guy on the top should be punching down at all. And I feel like it's just kind of, I'm not upset about watching more wrestling. I love wrestling. I'm going to watch both events. I'm actually happy that AEW moved. Now there's different opinions. I know some people who are diehard AEW fans are disappointed. They're like, you should have went head to head and it's, whatever. Like I understand that, but I kind of look at it as, I think this is Tony thinking about what's best for his fans. That's how I view it. And I think it's a better business decision. Listen, regardless of we watch both. Me and Pluggo watch both. Graham, I know you dabble with both. We're wrestling fans. We watch both.
Yeah.
However, my thing when it comes to this counter programming and stuff like that is there were those reports that came out that said that WWE has been talking about they don't want AEW to be a factor when their TV contract comes out. They want to basically demolish them so they don't get another I just look at it and I go, how is that good for pro wrestling? And that's where this bothers me. And it's like just the stuff they've done this year where, these AEW shows have been booked for 8-9 months. When these events are happening long, and all of a sudden WWE is just loading up these weekends. Like, I get it. It's business. It's part of the deal. But a part of me is like, you don't have to do that. And it just seems petty. And again, to me, it makes WWE look, for a company that's told us forever that they don't view AEW as competition or anything serious, you sure seem to think about them a lot, Graham, Jesus Christ.
I got him doing it. Oh, no.
Jesus Christ.
Graham, he's never coming back.
They sure as hell seem to be obsessed with them, in my opinion.
I completely agree. That should be my gimmick name for the episode, honestly.
No.
We should
when I screw things up, that's expected. You're supposed to be the constant professional
heated.
Here.
I know. I got
it's okay.
No, but
listen,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Listen, I think I do agree with all kind of aspects of what people are arguing. I honestly do think that AEW, to a certain extent, as a fan, I think it's cool that they're going on earlier because I watch both too. I cover both companies, so I prefer to watch one and then the other.
Yeah.
From AEW standpoint, they were on that night first. WWE never had an event scheduled for that night up until like 2 freaking weeks ago.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, you're right. I think Tony Khan is doing this for the fans, but at least in my opinion, I feel like if they were airing opposite of WrestlePalooza, I don't really think they're losing that much business because I feel like for those of us that are going to watch both, we're either going to watch both simultaneously. We'll find a way to figure out to watch both at the same time, purchase both shows. I don't really like the AEW sickos, as Tony Khan calls them. They're going to watch All Out regardless. I don't think people are going to be like, oh, I'll watch All Out now that it's at 3 p.m. Honestly, if anything, it kind of messes up people that might be going to the show that can't go at 3 p.m. that can no longer go now because it's 5 hours earlier. So honestly, I wish they would have just stayed, but it is what it is.
And it does mess up for the independent that work around those big events, and they're gonna have to move their shows as well. It's interesting how it's gonna play out. I know that they're going big. It's Indianapolis. It's ESPN. I don't know if AEW would have fared worse. I don't know. I know that we would have figured it out. But they, oh, look at that. So I think AEW, Spencer says he thinks AEW made a huge mistake moving off their show. That shows that WWE can affect their business. WWE can affect a lot of people's business. That's how big they are. Yeah. They can throw the kitchen sink at a show, and it definitely throws a wrench into things. I might have stuck to my guns if I was Tony Khan and just ran it to see, because they've never done that. They've never ran head-to-head main card versus AEW. It's always been an NXT show or some kind of other thing. Maybe it would have been a big night, I still, like I said, I still feel bad for all the indies that I talked to, kind of a shameless plug here. Next week, we have an interview dropping with a small independent Canadian deathmatch that had an opportunity to get linked up with a bigger and run during that weekend. And now they probably have to scramble to figure it out, but it's the nature of the beast, so to speak. I guess, but I'm going to watch both. I'm trying to go to one of them.
Yeah, one of them's in. Yeah, and one of them's in
Indy. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, and again, I watch both companies. I have had a problem, as a lot of people have this year, with some of the business decisions that WWE has made, but that doesn't affect how I feel about the performers I watch on the shows every week. Mm-hmm. I love a lot of those wrestlers. Again, I'm gonna watch. That's just gonna be a long day of wrestling. I'm gonna watch both shows, and I think both shows are gonna be great. It's just, I just feel like it doesn't need to, and now we have a discourse where, Fernando in the chat, who says, I'm a proud sicko. He's a proud AEW sicko, but he says they look scared running from the fight, and Spencer saying it looks like WWE can affect their business. So now you have that where it just, I don't know. It just feels like it just adds more discourse to where it just doesn't. I just worry in 2026 what's going to happen is both of these companies are going to play chicken with each other, and like AEW is not going to schedule things, or WWE, and we're going to get these last minute, oh shoot, we got to, we're going to do this show. It's going to be very secretive, and it's going to be like, we're not going to know what's going on, which I don't know if that's good or bad for the business. I don't know, for people like us who have lives and try to cover these events and need to, plan around events and whatnot, it might be tough, but I mean, it could be fun, right? I don't know. I don't know what to expect. We're in a whole new era of professional wrestling, but at the end of the day, more wrestling, I think, is good for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, if they give us better shows, I mean, I think that's really the idea, right? Like WrestlePalooza on paper is a pretty stacked show. And like, to be fair, like Cena and Lesnar, I'm glad. Hopefully they just get it out of the way now, so it's not Cena's last match in December. Io and Stephanie is a match that makes sense. That's only happening because Naomi got pregnant, but it was the match that made sense, of course, to do for the vacant Women's World Championship. And then the mixed tag team match, like as we said, it's probably happening because of the AEW effect. Like they really, really want to stack the show, and the ESPN thing too, like you guys were talking about. But it also isn't like completely random. It's not like she's returning and facing Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's title. Like it's a mixed tag team match that makes sense because Punk and Rollins have been feuding for what feels like years at this point. So as long as stuff makes sense and the shows are better and they feel eventful, the fans will only benefit. I don't like that WWE is attempting to try to bully AEW with this crap.
Yeah.
And I don't like going back to what we were kind of talking about, but before going off of what you guys said too, it might set a precedent for WWE to be like, oh, we forced them to move their time. Let's do this more in the future. Like, I don't really like that sort of thing. I don't really think anyone really benefits. At the end of the day, it's all about like the headlines. They want to dominate the headlines. That to me is really what they're trying to do here. And I think they might win because All Out's airing at 3 p.m. WrestlePalooza's after that. That looks like it's going to be the bigger show. I think All Out might be the better quality show. I don't know. It's hard to say right now. But if WWE gets what they want, what's going to stop them from doing it more in the future?
Yeah. Dustin brings up an excellent. He says, at some point, do you think AEW might announce an event the same day after WWE announces theirs? At this point, I would say no. Anything is possible, but the problem that AEW had with some of the non-sicko fans for a long time was they focused too much on WWE, and people didn't like that. Now that they've kind of not mentioned WWE, they don't bring it up hardly at all. Tony Khan is very professional and precise in the press conferences when asked about WWE. I don't see him reverting back to it and going because it's working for them right now. I know I still see the slew of fans on the internet that think that everything AEW does is garbage, but I just chalk that up to you're not actually paying attention to the product that they've put out the last year to 18 months. I think they've really done a good job. So I don't think they're going to get in that game. And again, I think to Graham's point earlier, I think Tony Khan read the room. Or was that you, JPJ? One of you two made an excellent point where you said, they read the room and they're doing what's best for their fans so they can get the full experience. Whoever it was, you both are smart individuals, so I'm not going to take credit for that comment.
Yeah, and that's all. And again, it's just, with that being said, I'm excited for both these shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're going to be great. And AJ Lee returning tomorrow is, like I said at the top, it is...
You never know.
Of course, well, not to jinx it. Yeah.
Yeah, not to jinx it. But again, I feel like at this point, it'll be business malpractice if they don't do it. Yeah. That Chicago crowd will not have a good time if that does not happen. They even said that there's even going to be a less of a setup so they can fit as many people as they can. That's how good tickets are moving for that show. Like you said, Graham, the tickets were going to move on that show no matter what, because WWE is kind of just selling out everything nowadays. But
yeah,
the tickets move that fast, and they're making more room because they have basically done everything but verbally confirmed to us that Spencer says the second dance they have basically done everything but verbally confirm that she's showing up tomorrow night, and it is their biggest return they have. It is going to be the biggest pop we've heard probably since Punk came back at Survivor Series. That's what we're getting tomorrow, and it's going to be a spectacle. It's a huge deal. And according to the reports, it's not just going to be a one and done thing either. It's not like she's just coming back for this. Like there's maybe again they didn't lean it, but there's probably
she's getting an IC title match with Becky Lynch 1000%. Right, like you do the tag match at WrestlePalooza. Punk and AJ go over. It's a massive moment. It's a massive pop, and then we get AJ and Becky right at SummerSlam, right? No, like that. I'm sorry, Survivor Series. Yeah, sorry, I'm still living in the past.
SummerSlam next year would be cool too.
Listen. My son turned 17 today. I'm trying to turn back the clock. I'm feeling old today. But yeah, it's Survivor Series or something like that. That would be insane. Or at the Rumble, if you wanted to do that. I think that's where we're going with this. I think that's ultimately because why else would she, if she's going to come back long term, and she can get a win in a tag match over the man Becky Lynch, who's your current IC champion, that would put her in the running to get the shot. I would imagine. It's not like they have these deep and rooted storylines for these mid-card titles where they don't, outside of the Lyra Bailey stuff, it's kind of been plug and play.
Yeah.
Just a thought. Don't.
I would love to see it. It's been so long. I think we can safely say it's probably happening tomorrow. But like you said, Pluggo, like fingers crossed. We don't know. It is still an if. And if she does come in, there's no guarantee that it will be beyond just this one match. I'm trying to be realistic and think that it might not be, for the simple reason that it's been 10 years that she's been gone. Like she could have come back at literally almost any point in the last decade, including when her husband has worked here in the last 2 years, and she actively chose not to. Now, this was the right storyline to bring her back in, but that tells me it also is someone, it's not as if she wrestled on the indies or in WOW or elsewhere AEW. She has not wrestled a single match since she left this company back in March of 2015. So she may even be doubting, like, can I continue to do this beyond a mixed tag team match? It's not a singles match, it's a tag team match. I would hope so. I think she can. And I'm hoping that it's like, okay, I can do this. And that convinces her to come back for a full-on run. Maybe not wrestling on Raw every week, but like a Nikki Bella type run where she, like you said, Pluggo, challenges Becky for the championship. Probably in the Rumble. Would love to get her and Roxanne because that's the match that Roxanne has wanted for the longest time now. A lot of different directions they can go in. It's just more a matter of what she wants to do. And I guess we'll find out beyond WrestlePalooza.
Yeah. All right. So let's actually, there we go. Spencer says just wait until Roxanne versus AJ at WrestleMania. Yeah. I mean, that would be
Hey, I remember I was always a big AJ Lee fan, and I'm not just saying that because she might be coming back. She was always one of those ones I gravitated to because she was different, and so I would love to see what an AJ Lee looks like in 2025. I'm excited. I want it to happen. I think we need it to happen.
I think that is worth mentioning too, because I saw some tweets in the last couple of days when this is basically all but confirmed from Fightful, and then there was the whole WWE shop thing with the whole tweet from a day or two ago where it was basically confirmed that she's coming in. And then I saw some tweets from a few fans saying, I don't really understand why this is a big deal. People are making this out to be a bigger deal. Relax, whatever. And to those people, I say, let us have our fun. For those of us that were watching 10 years ago in the doldrums of this goddamn company when it was just absolute butt cheeks, just terrible. It was awful programming. AJ Lee was one of the bright spots of that show for at least 2 to 3 years, not only as an in-ring performer as Divas champion, but like as a character as the Raw general manager, the stuff with Dolph, Cena, Bryan, Kane. I mean, making everyone around her more relevant and better and more interesting. She was the best part of that show, male or female.
She was the centerpiece of that show for like a year.
And
like
she did. And the reason she got to that level is because she was in that Divas division and she stood out so much. Now, granted, the division was a little weaker than what it is now, but she made the most of every moment that she got, and you'd leave those segments going, she really shined here. So for the people that are like, go back and watch, and you can even go back and watch, hop on the Peacock, look at some old AJ Lee stuff and just go, she had some the reason she has not been back is, let's be honest, she's married to CM Punk, and he and WWE were not exactly on the greatest of terms. I know he has said in many interviews if April wanted to do this, then she's more than welcome. But I have to imagine during some of those heated moments, the famous, he got fired on his wedding day, I don't think she was excited to come back. And then he did the AEW stuff, and maybe she wasn't ready. But who knows? Things have changed. Crazier stuff has happened. But she was absolutely a no-doubter in her era. So those people, I just say, I don't think you watched the full scope of what she brought to the table.
Yeah. I also think that those people are just those people. They're like, oh, people are having fun. Let me try to ruin their time because I have nothing fun going on.
I'm telling you what, dude.
These friggin' people, they like sit in the bushes and they just wait. Oh, somebody's happy? Fuck you.
Yeah,
and they just come out. Like, that's literally what they do. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. All right. Let's actually...
But that's how the cookie crumbles, right?
It is sometimes.
That's what makes the wheel go around. You can't have the good without the bad, I guess.
It's true. Let's rewind all the way back to the beginning and kind of go through the rest of everything.
The beginning of time?
No, we don't have.
Are we going on the way back? The beginning of professional wrestling?
But yeah, what is it?
The Luthez days?
What is it? Hackenberg? No, Hackenschmidt, and no, we're gonna go to the start of Clash in Paris.
I don't think we got that
Clash
kind of
in
time.
Paris. Yeah, George Hackenschmidt, I think was his name that I'm thinking about. No, but we had Clash in Paris that happened on Sunday afternoon in Paris, France. I thought, listen, besides the end and kind of what that led speculation-wise, I thought this was a solid show, Graham, but I don't think anything monumental happened on the show or anything like that. I thought it was pretty...
Becky Lynch hit CM Punk in the nuts.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, I get that, but like, I think the buzz of what could come was the bigger thing that came out of this than actually what we saw. You know what I mean? But again, I thought it was a pretty predictable show, in my opinion. That doesn't mean it was a bad show. I liked it. I thought it was a pretty decent to good show. And it started off with a match that I was looking forward to a lot with Big Bronson Reed and Roman. I expected this match to go so we found out a little bit earlier. They had announced that Roman Reigns was scheduled to walk Jey Uso walk with him down to the ring in the main event, because we assumed that Bronson and Braun would be with Seth and Roman was going to be going down to kind of be in Jay's corner. So we found out that little tidbit. And then we have this match. And I thought it was a solid match. It kind of went the way that I thought it was going to go, Graham. I thought, that tag match that Roman had with Jay against the Bronze at SummerSlam, Roman got his ass kicked in that match. Like, he gave a lot in that match, and Jay got the victory, but Roman took all of the offense, it felt like, and I kind of thought that this match would be similar. I thought Roman's going to give a lot to Bronson. They're going to make Bronson look good, and at the end, Roman's going to win because he's Roman, and that's how it was going to go, and I thought that's how this match basically went. I thought it was really good. Obviously, there was some stuff that happened after the match with Heyman and Roman and Braun and all that stuff. But as a match, I thought this was a pretty solid opener to the show. I think it's a good spot for Bronson Reed. I like Bronson Reed a lot. Having a one-on-one match on a PLE with Roman Reigns is never a bad spot to be in, whether you're winning or even if you're losing. It's not a bad spot to be in. I thought he looked great in the match, and then after the match, they made him look even better. I enjoyed the opening match, Greg.
I did too. I thought this was good. I think it was made better by the hot crowd in Paris. I don't know if any U.S. crowd would have been as into the action as these people were in attendance, but it still turned out to be a good match. And like you said, I'm just happy, despite the outcome, which I'll get to in a moment, but despite the outcome, I'm happy Bronson is at least even in this spot. I mean, for a long time, he was brought back in 2022, was marginalized for a good 2 years until he finally started working with Rollins last year, with Braun Strowman at the Raw that we went to last year in Providence. That was the kind of the kickoff to the whole feud, and they had a great few months working together there. But it's cool to see Bronson Reed shining as the star that he is. Didn't love the outcome because the post-match angle was awesome, where they just destroyed Roman even more so than a couple of weeks ago, and they did the same thing on the post-SummerSlam Raw. I just say at that point, just have the guy go over. I mean, just have him win. The only reason I could see them doing what they did is so it means more when Braun Breaker beats Roman Reigns inevitably at some point, I would have to imagine. So he's not just losing to everyone, but it's like, dude, he just won the tag match at SummerSlam. Roman did not need to win here. He's Roman Reigns. He's Teflon. He could lose. He'd be fine. But that's kind of besides the point. I thought the match itself was good, though. Obviously setting up a big match for when Roman comes back from filming Street Fighter. And I don't know if he's a crown jewel. I've seen conflicting things with people saying he'll be back at the end of the year. He'll be back in 2026. He'll be back in a month. I don't exactly know where we're going with this. But I would be very disappointed if Bronson Reed did not face Roman in the rematch in Australia, crown jewel, because Bronson Reed belongs on that show after missing Elimination Chamber in Australia last year.
I agree.
I'm with you on the outcome, man. If you're gonna just write Roman Reigns off like that, it would have made a ton of sense to help Bronson Reed. I would have, especially what we seen tonight what we seen at the end of the show. Same thing at SummerSlam, with Becky coming, the Vision thing. Now she's taking out Punk. They just beat 3 more main eventers.
Yeah,
like I would have really loved it. Like, who's gonna take down this faction? Right, Roman Reigns is now gone. Right. Like, I really wanted to see Bronson go over here, but I understand it. I'm with it. It did take up a whole hour of the show. The whole first hour was the same. They murdered that man. So ultimately, like, I'm not bummed. I just want to see Bronson Reed because it's clear it's Seth, Becky now, Braun Breaker, and then it's Bronson. But I want to see him pick up some big-time wins in these spots. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed the match. I had a good time. It did drag a little bit, the beatdown towards the end there, but it's me splitting hairs. The Paris crowd was amazing, Fernando. That was the thing. Last year's Clash was the same thing. The card was super predictable. The matches were good, but the crowd really shined and made this a bigger event than maybe on paper it was.
100%. Yeah, the crowd was definitely like the third character in all the stuff with the two, the people wrestling in the ring. I thought the beatdown after, like you said, Graham, was excellent. I thought, Roman kind of going over to say hi to the celebrities, and then Braun appears out of nowhere and spears him through the table, and then the multiple tsunamis, and it was just really well done. Roman even gets up and is walking out of the ring still after the first one, and then Braun does just that crazy spear he always does down the ramp with the flip, and it was just really well done. And then Jey Uso getting involved and taking a spear, and then that kind of leading into more storylines in the main event with Jay and things of that nature. I thought it was really well done. I would have loved to. I don't want Bronson Reed to be the guy in the group that just is the guy that gets fucking beat all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what he is, unfortunately, because they're never going to pin Braun, because Braun, I think it's Seth's group, but I think this group was built for Braun Breaker. This group is built for Braun to become the superstar whenever
whenever he
Correct.
snaps on Seth, because
Correct.
Seth be needling him every week, doing that whole like, you think he thinks he could beat you, like kind of like pushing him into these matches. Does Braun Breaker have the best spear you guys have ever seen?
It's up there.
I feel like he might have to, right? I mean, aside from Goldberg in his prime, and even him, I don't know. It's in the conversation. It's got to be him, Goldberg, and
it's the
Roman's
most. It's definitely the most violent one I've ever seen for sure. But I was like watching him spear Roman at Clash, and I was just like, this is a thing of beauty. Like, this is money, and I don't know. He's perfected it. Like,
he flies.
I know Edge has a great one too. Like, there's great ones in history, but man, I don't know if. I don't think Edge or Roman or Goldberg ever got that much. Like, he goes from like 5 feet, 10 feet out, and he's just flying through the air for a hot minute, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it looks better than Goldberg's. I mean, Goldberg was a bigger dude, so I feel like if I were,
you better be careful. If Goldberg hears that, he's gonna be pissed. Bro.
I know he'd kill me today, but I'm thinking in his prime too. I feel like if you were to take a spear from either guy in their prime, I feel like you would want to take it less from Goldberg because I feel like he's a bigger guy. But Braun's not a small dude either. But I mean, you would not want to take a spear from either guy. It would be devastating for sure.
Yeah, I think the thing that separates Braun's spear is the speed.
Definitely.
None of those other guys, they don't even come close to the speed that he puts behind that, and it's just it's unbelievable how. Yeah, like, and when you see him, and he does it with a clothesline, he doesn't even do it with the spear, but when he does that spot every match where he runs the ropes back and forth, you can hear the crowd that are there live. You can hear them when he like does the second rotation. They're like, holy shit. Like, you can hear the crowd like, wow, like, man, this guy is flying.
Yeah.
And a guy of that size, no business moving that quick. And I think that's really what separates Goldberg and him. I think out of all the spears in history, they have the best snap on the spears. Like, after they hit him, Goldberg and him would like drive them down to the mat where it has that snap looking thing. Like, Edge's and Roman's, to me, they're good spears, but you could tell the wrestler is protected when they do it. Whereas Goldberg's and Braun's looks like they're trying to kill the person that they're doing it to. So I think that's just like kind of the differences there. But yeah. All right. So then we kind of move forward, and we had ourselves, this was a match that was added just the night before. I'm sorry, a couple nights before on SmackDown. It was the Street Profits challenging the Wyatt Six for the WWE Tag Team Championship. This was probably the low point of the show for me. Not necessarily it was a bad match. It was just a match that was just kind of put together. I like the Wyatt Six. I actually really like the pairing of Loomis and Gacy. I think they're good. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good spot for them in the group. And the Street Profits, terrible gear. They had terrible gear. They were doing the Borderlands thing. Every time that WWE does this video game shit, the gear is atrocious. It's atrocious.
And every time they do it, the person wearing it loses the match.
They lose.
0-2 this year, championship opportunities.
And I feel like, we've been talking
not only that, really quick, not only that,
Yeah.
the gear, first of all, they did that pre-show segment where they were talking to Jackie Redmond, and BFAB did most of the talking, and they basically said it doesn't matter if it's 4 hours, 48 hours, they're always going to be ready. Montez didn't say a word. Yep. Which is unusual, and Dawkins was very somber. So not only are they feuding, they're now going into a championship match wearing gear that they're probably not familiar with in the slightest. And it just felt like, and I know that they eventually will split up here, I think is going to happen, but it's just this culmination of like, you just kind of knew like going into this thing that they weren't winning it, and it was just sad.
Yeah. And I feel like, we've been talking about the Street Profits going their separate ways, or Montez getting a singles run for what feels like a few years at this point. But I feel like now we're at the point with the vibe and the way they're talking that, like, I think we're the closest we've ever been to that actually happening with the way they're kind of presenting everything, Graham. And then I think after this match, when they lost, I think it was Dawkins who sent out a tweet where he was like wearing thin or on my last straw or something along those lines. It feels like this is the closest we're getting to an actual Street Profits separation than we've ever gotten, because they've been a tag team for going on a decade now. They've been around for a long time. It feels like that's going that way, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, we've been burned before. I feel like the closest we came, this is the closest we've gotten to them teasing tension, I think. But the closest we came, I would argue, was in the lead up to Mania in 2023, when Montez was in the chamber match that year for the United States Championship. And we're all thinking, awesome. Like, he's getting more opportunities on his own. He killed it in the chamber, had an awesome spot, a few awesome spots in that match. What's next? And he was also on that reality show with Bianca. That got a lot of love early last year. And then nothing, literally nothing, right back to the tag team scene. And they're an awesome tag team. It's not a bad problem to have, but it is when Montez, and it bothers me to no end, that they have not tried to do more with him in the last couple of years. Vince wasn't doing shit with him, and neither is Triple H. It is mind-boggling to me. This guy, to me, in my opinion, and from the times that we've all like talked to them and talked to him and whatnot in interviews and stuff with these junkets and whatever, the guy's an absolute star. And that's to say nothing about Dawkins, who's also very good. He's actually improved a lot in the last couple of years, gotten into great shape. I think he's a good, serviceable mid-card guy. Montez Ford legitimately is world champion material.
Yeah, he has something special.
He's not getting any younger either. Like, he can talk, he can wrestle, he can go out and do the PR stuff a lot like his wife does. The pairing is right there with him and Bianca as heel specifically. Hopefully she comes back as a heel or turns heel soon when she does come back. But it just bothers me. Honestly, seeing him on the show at this point, not on his own, and I love the Profits, it's like we've done everything that we can do with these guys 4 or 5 times over in the last 8-9 years. We got to move on. Like, there's enough tag teams on SmackDown now where you can afford to break them up and try to push Montez on his own. I just hope it doesn't go the way of, and they're trying with him again, but I hope it doesn't go the way of like a Carmelo where they, make him sound like he's a bigger deal and then not really do shit with him. Like, he deserves better than that. And they're trying again with Carmelo, but hopefully Ford gets a real opportunity to show what he can do, because he has actual potential to be a top talent on this company.
Yeah,
100%.
And I think you said it. I've been saying it for a while too. Like, you tell me that you're going to give me a heel on-screen couple of Bianca and Montez, and like, if you watch that reality show in real life, they always match their outfits and things like that. If they just leaned into that and just were who they were, but were heels, put them on SmackDown, give them both the belts, have them run one of the shows, like, that is a money angle. It's a money couple. That is, we're talking about mixed match tag matches with AJ Lee and Seth and Becky and all that. Throw them two right into that mix too, as like superior, and then when Naomi comes back, you got Jimmy and Naomi. You could do a whole thing if you wanted.
A power couple championship tournament. That'd be fun.
Like, they had the
maybe that's why Jay and Jada were very public about their relationship the other day. Maybe they want to get in the mix of the power couple. Who knows? I mean,
I don't know.
Some options. I'm down.
I look at it. I wish, I think if there was ever going to be a team where, like, do we have to do the thing where we have to, like, they can't just amicably be like, hey man, we've been doing this for a decade. We love each other, but let's go try something new. Like, why can't we why can't these guys of all teams, like, why does every team have to end up hating each? Like, they can't just be like, hey man, we've been doing this for a decade. We're multiple time tag team champions. I know you have singles aspirations. I have singles aspirations. We always got each other's back. We love you. We're going to do our own thing. Why can't that fucking happen ever?
I know. Well, to be fair, they did. I know they turned on them last December.
Jannetty and Michaels ruined it for everybody.
Truly, they did. But they did do that, to be fair, with Big E initially about 4 or 5 years ago. But only because they got drafted as separate rosters. I still think they should do that. I've been saying that for years too. I think with the Profits, they don't have to have one guy turn on the other. Because honestly, truthfully, if they do that, Dawkins is done. Like, I think the guy is good, but like, there's so much talent in the company at this point. there is so many talented people that barely sniff television time. Dawkins is not getting a single look that I think he deserves. Whereas if they at least remain amicable with each other, him and Ford can still team up on occasion, but he might have a better chance of remaining relevant, not being, shuffled off into the mid card like Tucker of Otis. I mean, he's better than that, but don't get him lost in the shuffle here. I agree, though. I would keep him a team, kind of shove Ford off on his own without turning on him, because it's such lazy wrestling booking that we see all the time. And this team specifically does not deserve that.
Yeah, I agree. But in this match, the Wyatt Six did retain. They had a nice little nifty finishing move with kind of like a suplex into a powerbomb thing that looked pretty cool. But the Wyatt Six did retain. So again, I kind of expected that they would retain. I wanted to ask, maybe I'll ask you, Pluggo. We saw kind of building into this match on SmackDown. We saw, we saw Bo Dallas cutting promos in the back, not in just as regular Bo Dallas. He was cutting promos to Montez, trying to get in Montez's, head a little bit. Yeah. Do you think that's a route that they should explore more when we start to see the Wyatt Six people as kind of their regular versions a little bit more often than just...
Well, that's what they did with Bray Wyatt, right?
Yeah.
He bounced in between. And I know that there was discussion when they brought this all back that they would. I think you could do it and it'd be cool. Like, I don't know necessarily if I need Uncle Howdy every single time out there. Like, we know who you are. We know who Nikki Cross really is. And they did do that when they did this initial vignettes. When they brought him back, they bounced in between a little bit. And I thought that was really cool. I didn't know how you sustain it for a long. I don't think you can sustain a supernatural gimmick outside of maybe the Undertaker, if you want to count that, for super long. So I would like to see a little bit more depth in him bounce between the two, kind of like Bray did, if you're going to keep him going and you're going to keep him on TV.
Yeah, I would also like to see Nikki Cross wrestling in the women's division. If we could,
I forgot Eric Rowan was in the group until Sunday when I was like, oh, he's doing something.
Yeah.
They got to find something for those two to do for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of these people, and it's nice to see them on the show, specifically Rowan, where I didn't think he would ever be brought back to WWE. Unless it was like this whole Wyatt Six thing, he was never getting brought back. They only had a certain vision for him even 10 years ago. I think there's a lot of people that Triple H has brought in really just as window dressing, whether it be Rowan. Nikki Cross has actual, she can go at this point and still contribute. Not that Rowan can't, but Nikki Cross has more value, I would argue, at this point. But Rowan, Sarah Logan, whose contract was not renewed a couple months ago, really only brought back as a manager. Carlito, who I enjoyed his run while he was there, but he was really only window dressing for the LWO and the Judgment Day. I think Triple H likes the idea of these people being there without actually doing much with them. Scarlett, same thing, barely wrestled in the few years that she was with the company. Not to say she was a great in-ring worker or whatever, but a lot of these people, Triple H has a certain vision in mind for them, and they'll never get beyond that level. And then Vince kind of had the same problem. It's not as bad with Triple H, but I agree with that. Would like to see these people get more opportunities.
100%.
But right now, though, to that point too, and you brought it up with Dawkins, so I kind of wanted to go a little bit further with it. Like you said, it's tough right now. That is absolutely, it might, I don't know if it's hyperbole to say it might be the most top-heavy loaded roster they've had. Like when we were sitting down for the Rumble and we were all together, I know JPJ and I discussed, there was 12 guys that you could have gone, they could win the Rumble and that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it's tough right now to get that up into that upper echelon, into that upper mid-card main event scene. And so some of these people, unfortunately, have to fall by the wayside, and they're putting all their chips in for this WrestlePalooza. Plus, I always say this year's weird because of the John Cena factor getting thrown into it. It's kind of an anomaly year, but I don't know what you do with some of these people when they're not doing anything.
Yeah, So it is an anomaly of a year because Cena obviously after this year is not going to be at the top of the card anymore. So, that
he'll still be at the top of the card in some people's hearts, though.
Well, of course.
He'll never leave.
Yeah, that will be an open, that'll be a spot for somebody to kind of slide up. But you're even seeing it with guys that were at the top of the card last year, like somebody like a Drew McIntyre. I know he's feuding with Cody now, but Drew McIntyre kind of slid down a notch or two because, you got Cena shows up and he's the champion and it is what it is. He's going to be that guy.
I kind of got beef with Cody Rhodes right now.
You got beef with Cody. Well, congratulations to Cody. Just had another child.
Good for him, but he's out here like following everybody under the sun on Twitter.
Hasn't followed me yet.
He hasn't followed me, and we had that moment where I'm the first. He's the reason that I'm the reason you yeeted for the first time, Cody. Like we had a moment, we bonded.
You were there. That is true.
I was the one that told him to yeet. I said, you got to eat. Jay's been eating. I said, Cody, you got to eat before you leave. And then he shut the whole thing down to do it. I can't even get a follow from the QB1. I thought we had something special.
That whole yeet thing would have never made it past that press conference if it wasn't for Pluggo.
It might have. Let's be honest. They might have figured it out. But yeah, just say it.
No respect.
QB1, he's out shooting.
They were saying at SummerSlam they shut down the press conferences, Pluggo, because they knew WrestlePalooza was coming up in Indianapolis. They knew Cody was probably going to be there. They didn't want you to ask another question so you could start another movement. So they shut them down, and that because of you, we don't get them anymore. So thanks a lot for that.
Oh yeah, I guess this is the first time we've talked since that.
I'm the one with my. It wasn't even a question. It was after the fact, and they were both drunk. So listen here.
That was a good time. They were both licked.
But that was amazing.
I will tell you this full fun. I don't know if I've ever told you this part of that story. So I took Mrs. Pluggo because they gave me 2 tickets. They didn't really have media opportunities at the time for that event. So I just went. I took Mrs. Pluggo, but they did email and say, we are having a post show. If you want in, let us know. And I said, yeah, sure. So like we walked in there and they sat as front. I was waiting for somebody. I actually had a lady turn around while I'm walking back there and go, who are you with? And I thought, oh boy, it's over. It's over. Yeah, she goes, who are you with? And I said, yeah, here's my email. I'm with Love Wrestling, blah, blah, blah. She goes, oh, okay. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to get to this. And then I was just in the front row.
That's amazing.
And then, with Mrs. Pluggo, and she's just like, what is this real? And I go, I think so.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
People
still talk about that CM Punk one from All Out, obviously Brawl Out from, I think it was actually 3 years ago today, but the opposite of that one, the other press conference that you actually wanted to be in the room for was that one. So I'm jealous that you were there and asked the question too. It's amazing.
I asked the question to Cena because surprisingly nobody had Cena questions, and then there was the Taylor Swift controversy question.
Yes, that was that one. Yeah,
I was sitting right there. Yeah, nobody asked about CM Punk, which people flamed on the internet too, but it's not like you would have got a good answer anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just a wild scene, and I'm just like, Cody, man, I thought we had a moment, bro. I thought we were cool like that. I thought we were gonna be friends, but hey, it's all good.
Yeah, but Graham, this is the first time we're talking since kind of that news. Now, I know you've been going to events and covering WWE for a bit longer than Pluggo and I have, but we've run into each other multiple times at some events over the, that's how we got to know each other a lot better. And we've had great experiences. Right before SummerSlam, you were at SummerSlam. Yeah. You went?
Yeah. I was there both nights. Yeah.
So you were there both nights. So I've heard some other media people's experience of that weekend, and it wasn't all, as positive as the usual experience, which we usually hear like, and the ones that we've been a part of have always been tremendous and just great experiences. This one was a little bit different, a little weird, just in general, as somebody who does go to media opportunities and does cover these events. Like, that's just such a bummer. It's just such a bummer that they decided to go. And obviously with what happened at night 2 of SummerSlam, we know why they made that decision for that weekend. But then when it's for the future and they're basically just not going to do it anymore, maybe ever, for however long they said, at least through Mania of next year is what we know, we think. But just, like, how was that weekend? Like, how did that go down, and just how are you feeling? Obviously, it's just kind of a bummer, dude.
Yeah, such a bummer. I mean, the overall weekend itself, I thought was good. It definitely had its ups and downs. I mean, most of these weekends do. Like, I mean, when it comes to, and as you guys know, a lot of these weekends, like when I saw you guys at SummerSlam last year, well, the last time I saw you, I think would have been at the Rumble, but at the SummerSlam one last year in Cleveland, they had a whole bunch of events that you can go to and cover, like a random WWE 24 on Damian Priest, a Sami Zayn comedy show. Yeah. At least for us, at least the list that I was on, they didn't have almost anything. They had the usual media junket, which I thought went well. And, those things are kind of hit or miss as far as who they have there, who they don't have there, who doesn't show up. They didn't send out the list for that until like the morning of, which was crazy. Like legitimately at 7:00 in the morning, and it started at 9. So like none of us were getting ready to go at that point. I had no time to prepare any questions for anyone that was going to be there. It was kind of on the fly stuff. But the people they had there were good and whatnot. But yeah, the press conference thing was really disappointing because night one's going on and other people have different perspectives on it, but they're all kind of aligned essentially. But I'm sitting in the press box thinking, okay, I guess I'm just not invited because usually they send you an email.
An email.
Typically, how it's worked. And the last couple of times and in years past, they would put like a little sticker on your thing. It's always changed.
At the Rumble, it like was middle of the show. They were like, they sent out a mass email to those people.
Yes.
It was weird.
Yeah, that's what they've been doing. I think for the last year was like it's a mass email. Didn't get an email, so I'm thinking, okay, I guess I'm not invited. And then I didn't see anyone else get up, and I'm like, that's interesting. And then I have the post shows on in the press box at these things, and they say there's not going to be a press conference. We're going to have just a regular post show with Sam Roberts or Peter Rosenberg, whatever, interviewing Triple H. I'm like, interesting. Maybe they're just doing it for the second night. And then I got back to my hotel that night, and I saw the tweet from Sean saying they're just done indefinitely. So that's how I found out. I've seen other people say that they found out by asking people that work there, like the PR people, and they were told at that point they weren't doing one. They did not officially tell us, like all of us, in an email or like tell us on the way in or on the way out that they weren't doing it. And I'm probably going to go to these things regardless for other reasons. But some people do legitimately just go for the press conference stuff to ask questions or for more exposure, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And a lot of the questions are very good. Some not as great, but there's always controversy there, obviously. But to not have that opportunity to ask the important questions about like the Brock thing that we were talking a little bit about earlier is a big problem when they at one point did afford that opportunity and now no longer. Because like before 2022, they weren't ever doing that stuff. So it kind of made sense. But they give you it and then they take it away just to have Triple H on the post show, which I thought it was a really bad look. They don't care about us. I mean, I get that. I totally understand that. But it is disappointing, like you said, to say the least.
Yeah. And I always tell people because a few people have asked me because I've been in those as well. They never ask. They never tell you what you can and can't ask. Yeah. You're free to ask what you want. And I always tell people like off air when I'm having it, certain people have certain agendas for sites that they do and content that they want to make. So it is kind of a random draw. They don't necessarily have a rhyme or reason on how they do it. I know the last time I was at one, I kind of got put on the spot with the Charlotte. He hands me the mic, and I just like had to think of a question on the fly.
Yeah, that's happened to me too.
Or you get into that moment and you're the third person in line, and the first two people have already asked your first two questions. But you want to take it's a bummer. I hope that they end up bringing it back. I blame Josh Peck. Really, it's his fault. I don't know if you guys have seen that clip. It's not my fault. He basically was like, hey, on his podcast, I saw the TikTok. He was like, hey, do you guys know about this, WWE, right? And they're all like, yeah, we know about WWE. He's like, it's not real, right? And it's just this fake fantasy wrestling thing. And then they have a post show afterwards and treat it serious. And everybody's like, well, that's crazy. And I was like,
crazy.
And I was like, shut up, Josh. I was like, shut up, Josh Peck.
Who the hell are you?
I go to those things and I ask those goofy questions. You take a shot.
I know. I mean,
but it is a bummer for especially like, and I know at the Royal Rumble, when we went to the Rumble, it was a smaller list of events. Like you said, that SummerSlam had like so many opportunities to get. I mean, we got insane. I still have stuff that I don't think I've even released. It's just sitting because there was so much of it. Yeah. But the Rumble was a very small, and not everybody that got invited to the press box got the junket, and then they didn't get the press conference on top of it. So there's very few shots to get your moment. I mean, you just got to make do with what they give you. And like I know SummerSlam, he got the press conference. I did not. I ended up, having quite the story to tell based on that alone, but I ended up just making content with one of the creators in the room I was in.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of just evolve and run with the flow, and hopefully they bring them back in some capacity, because I think that they are valuable and I think that they were fun. And it was always cool for me to be sitting on my couch and hear Graham asking a question to whoever it may be and be like, "Oh shit, I know that dude. That's my guy." And then put a tweet out and and then the tweets roll, and it's just good for the creators that cover the sport.
Yeah,
it's a sport that gets covered. I think you need to treat it as such.
I agree.
Yeah. But hopefully one day we can kind of get back to that, because it is. And I think about, like, since Pluggo and I, the first time that we did it together was at SummerSlam last year in Cleveland. I think about the people that we met there that are now friends of ours, that are regulars on our show, that pop in every so often, and we do their stuff and they do, like, it's cool stuff to be able to talk to the wrestlers and interview them and get fun stuff. And if you have the privilege to go, but it's also like you're networking with people that are like you. Like, we're all the same. We're all fans in there. We're all, like, doing the thing. It's just, it's just a great experience to be around. So I get weary when companies decide that, okay, we're going to kind of do stuff like this so we can just kind of dictate. We're going to give you all the information that we want to give you. We're going to play the narrative that we want to give you. And we're not going to have anybody be able to question the narrative. And it's just what we says go. And that's the story. And there's nobody that I'm like, nah, that's not,
Yeah. I mean, listen, they have their issues too. Like, again, a lot of silly or unnecessary questions have been asked. I will not tell you otherwise. I mean, I will not single anything out, but that's just been the case since they started. But it is interesting. I mean, even for the flack that the AEW press conferences have gotten since they started, when AEW started in 2019, some silly questions have been asked at those, or important questions that should have been asked weren't. I mean, that's a common occurrence. And going back to what Pluggo said, it depends on who's in the room and what the agenda that certain people have. I totally get it. But to AEW's credit, they've had the press conferences and they've always done them. They have never shied away, even when the product has not been great. Even after the Punk thing happened, they really could have stopped doing them. Honestly, like, I would not have been shocked. But they've done them after every single pay-per-view. Is Tony Khan rambling for 20 minutes all that valuable? No, but at least they still have the press conferences. WWE, interestingly, started doing these probably because of AEW. But when Triple H took over, that's when they started doing them. When the product was, like, critically acclaimed. Oh, it's so much better than when Vince was here. Like, we all love WWE. And there's still parts of the show I really enjoy now. But like that late 2022, early 2023, they were on fire at that point. Mm-hmm. And now that they're kind of getting some criticism for some stuff, I think Triple H kind of wants to shy away from that. And like you said, JPJ, kind of like control the narrative on their own post show, to steal a term from EC3, control the narrative and be like, oh yeah, everything's amazing. Like, look at the attendance here. Like, that shit ain't valuable to me. I don't care about that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What's the right answer then? Because we've mentioned that, like, some of the hard hitting questions don't get asked, and maybe some of the softball questions. Like, what's the right answer? Because again, I feel like, and again, just as somebody who's been in there, and like, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, because you're gonna get heat from from the IWC if you ask, like, oh, why would he ask Triple H that question? That's crazy. Like, he's not going to give you an answer. But if you kind of, I don't want to say lob a softball to him, or just ask something else where you'll get an answer from him. People are like, why didn't you step up to the plate and answer that question? And to those people that you can't win with, I always say, the WWE PR email is right there on the website. You're more than welcome to
we're
apply.
in here and you are not. That's really what it is,
And it's just, it's just, it's tough. It's tough to be like, because I've sat and watched the comment sections of these post shows when I'm not in them, and I'm like, which one did you want? Like, do you want, like, at the one I was at, nobody asked about the potential return of CM Punk. He returned at Survivor Series, and people were mad about that. But it's like, had I stepped up and said, hey, Triple H, CM Punk going to return next month? He would have said, he doesn't work here, because nobody knew he was returning. So then it's like, I got a really big nothing burger answer. So now I don't really have what's the story there. So I don't know. I see both sides of it. I think there should be some more, maybe some more tougher questions being asked. But I also am not going to fault somebody for going, you know what? Agree. You know what? I'm not going to get a great answer out of him anyway if I ask him why he brought Brock back.
It depends on what it is. I mean, I feel like, especially if Brock with the Brock thing, someone would have asked. I mean,
Oh,
if it
for
wasn't
sure.
me,
Oh,
if
for
it wasn't
sure.
you, it would have been someone. I mean, usually, like when the Vince stuff, and I think it's not fair for people to say, "Oh, no hard questions were ever asked," bro. I mean, like after the Vince lawsuit dropped last January, there were at least 3 people that asked about it. Triple H gave that amazing answer where he was like, "Oh, I didn't even read
I didn't
it."
even
Like,
read it.
Yep.
stupid thing to say. So, I mean, honestly, even more so than some of the media people that were in there for whatever reason that didn't ask certain things or asked the wrong question, whatever. I feel like the people that made themselves look worse, that looked the worst coming out of them was WWE themselves, and specifically Triple H, not the talent. And it's always weird too, because like, are we asking them in character questions, out of character stuff? Are they going to answer that? Like, that's always something I've struggled with, and WWE never really answered that. Because to Josh Peck's point, it is a fake scripted sport. I mean, it's not like basketball or baseball or whatever. What are they going to even really say? Triple H, honestly, was really where the value was.
Yes.
And a lot of shit he just wouldn't answer, or if he did, he didn't answer it appropriately. Like,
Yeah.
it made everyone look bad. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. And I think, they never really decided, like, like Pluggo said, they didn't ask us what we were asking or anything like that, but
Yeah,
they never
which was
really
great,
even
yeah.
said, even the little brief before we go live for where people are watching the post show, they never said like, "Hey guys, just so you know, the wrestlers will be in character," or they were coming in there, and sometimes they would be in character, and sometimes, like Pluggo got to ask a question to Charlotte at the Rumble, she wasn't in character. That was basically Ashley Flare-Up. She was emotional.
Yeah.
She was talking about her recovery and like she wasn't in character there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then John Cena comes in and he says the statement that he does, and he doesn't answer questions, and he's in fucking character.
Dude, even with Charlotte, that is hilarious because
You know?
I remember the question that you asked. Were you the first one to ask a question, Pluggo,
Yes.
or were you like the second one?
Yeah,
Maybe the second, but it was early.
basically they were he like, who has a question for Charlotte, and then they like handed me the mic, and I was like, so somebody had asked the question that I was going to ask, and like on the fly I was like, NXT, and I asked her the question, and she gave a great answer, but it was definitely outside of her. She started to give like the in character answer, and she goes, "I'll give you a real one now." So she was having fun with it, but.
Yeah.
What was funny about that, I think it was right after you that they gave me the mic to ask her a question. It was either right after you or 2 people later. And I didn't ask her like anything super in depth. It was just like rumored at that point, like a nickname she was like going to get when she came, like Top Girl or something like that.
Yeah.
I just asked her what that meant, or like whatever, how that embodied her. And then she just turned into total bitch mode on me. And she cut off my question. She did not let me finish my question. And I wasn't rambling on either. And she just fucking went off on me. I'm like, you were so nice to him like 2 seconds ago.
I remember that. I remember that too.
Because I ruined it, man. I ruined a lot for you, man. I'm sorry. I'm like,
oh man, that's such a good question.
If it makes you feel any better, I had one guy on Twitter go, "Who the fuck invited Pluggo to this press conference?"
I remember you quote tweeted him. Oh no, you showed me that. I was sitting there.
So if it makes you feel any better, you weren't the only person mad at me.
That was funny, yeah.
Man,
good times.
What times? Yeah, they were. All right, trying to get back. So then we had the women's
Clash, huh? Yeah,
yeah. We had the women's Intercontinental Championship match. It was Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella. This match wasn't the greatest in my opinion. There were some spots that were clearly they weren't on the same page. I wouldn't consider this a bad match, but it wasn't anything to write home about. You could tell Nikki Bella was frustrated after the match. You could kind of see it in her face that she was frustrated. But it got the job done. I thought, Becky wins as we expect. Obviously, what we talked about at the beginning, Becky had bigger plans later on in the evening that we talked about at length. But I thought this was, fine at best. Nothing special. I think if they could have a redo, Nikki Bella would like a redo. But yeah, I thought this was fine.
Yeah, I thought the match was totally fine. Honestly, like it's kind of funny because 10 years ago, I did not give a single shit about anything the Bella twins were involved in. I just thought a lot of it was garbage. But Nikki Bella comes back. I honestly think for the most part, I think her run has gone very well. Her in-ring stuff has kind of been hit or miss, but she was out of the ring for so long. I kind of get it. But I love the promos that she was having with Becky coming into this event. And this feud, I say is, but it's kind of, I guess it's over. So I'll say was. It really exceeded my expectations. It was very good TV for as long as it lasted. I did not mind the match. I'm not going to say it was great. There definitely was some missed spots in there, and it was not the smoothest encounter, and they definitely weren't on the same page, like you said. I didn't mind the match, but you would think they went out there and had the worst match of all time based on the feedback that people have given this match, and specifically Nikki, like calling for this woman's head. And I'm like, first of all, it's not that big of a deal. And second of all, yeah, she messed up a time or two. I mean, Becky was also partially to blame for the match being bad. It's not entirely Nikki's fault. And she'll be fine. She'll she'll rebound, she'll recover. It's okay. And I think Nikki, it obviously affected her. She was talking about it on her podcast recently. And it's like, I mean, maybe 10 years ago, I get it when she really didn't improve all that much, but she did over time towards the end of her run when she was a full-time wrestler. And I think she's done well since she came back. But one bad match, quote unquote, changes everything. And people are completely just burying this poor woman. So yeah, I didn't mind the match, but I feel for her.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I think you're gonna say. I know. I think you're gonna say what I'm thinking.
Well, then why don't you say?
I think when it comes to the belt,
I'll have your back for sure.
I think when it comes to the Bellas, Nikki especially, she's one of those people that even if the match was great, there was going to be people that are shitting on her because she's just. I don't know. I feel like she's one of those people that, and there's a handful. There's probably more than a handful of them, but like. She's just one of those people to me that I feel like people just dog on her for no reason whatsoever. Like she's just the target of a lot of bullshit kind of right off the jump. And I think that, like you said, was it the best match? No, I wouldn't think, I don't think it was a bad match. I thought it was fine. It was fine.
It was fine.
Couple missed spots, but oh fucking well. Guess what, guys? I've seen Kenny Omega miss a spot before. Like, it's very rare with the quality of wrestling, but you know what I mean? Like everybody fucks up. Sometimes like it's not, I just think that Nikki Bella is kind of one of those polarizing people to some that she gets extra shit than like if that was Becky Lynch versus Raquel and there was a mess up spot, nobody's fucking dogging on Raquel. Nobody. But it's Nikki Bella, so people are fucking coming out of the bushes again. Oh, Nikki Bella? Oh, okay. And then that's how that's what
and again, like there's two people in that match. Now, did Becky hit all of her spots? No, I don't think so. So maybe, and Nikki hasn't wrestled a singles match in what, 10 years? That's her first.
She had one on Raw, but beyond that, a long time.
Yeah, so she's not exactly, maybe she's not thinking on the fly. I don't know how much time they had to prepare for said match. I think not every match needs to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki Bella's just in this weird spot that no matter what she does, people are going to hate on it. And I think that that's just misplaced. But at the end of the day, the right person won. This was the only match where I was like, if you wanted to shock the world, you probably could have. Mm-hmm. But obviously what happened and we talked about earlier makes sense now. But yeah, whatever. Like, it was good. It was fine. People are just really, really crappy when it comes to women's wrestling and botches in women's wrestling. They jump on it way too hard, especially Divas era wrestlers. It's like, what do you want from me? Yeah, but Becky Lynch winning is fine. It's good. If Nikki's still back and she's full time and she's doing things, who'd be a good opponent for Nikki Bella? AJ Lee, baby.
Like it's 2015 all over again.
Yeah. Exactly. Hell yeah! I want to see it. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Was a really good match in my opinion. The match of the night was this good old fashioned Donnybrook. That we saw with Rusev and Sheamus, which was next. I've loved everything that these guys have been doing. This was their third or fourth match and this little thing that they've been doing. I've loved all the matches. This was as good as the other ones, but it had weaponry and there were tables and whiskey barrels and shillelaghs and all sorts of things.
Shillelaghs? Why you say it like that?
Shillelagh.
I like that.
Shillelaghs.
That's how you say it, a shillelagh.
Just the way you said it, you're like shillelaghs.
Yeah,
shillelagh.
Well, how you
said shillelaghs, but you said shillelaghs.
Shillelagh.
Go Irish, baby.
Shillelagh.
Yeah. I think it's shillelagh. Yeah.
All right, whatever.
It's shillelaghs, but the shillelaghs, I like that.
Shillelaghs.
I like it. I'm giving you props. I think that should be what it's called.
I thought this match was a fucking blast. I thought this match ruled. Real good. These two guys just beat the crap out of each other every time they're in there, and this was the same. Obviously, multiple great spots in this match, but the spot everybody is the Irish curse backbreaker off the barrels through the double tables. But at the end of the day, it was the right guy that I think needed the win here. He hasn't done a ton since his return, but I think Rusev needed the win coming out of this on the PLE, and that's what he got. And we got a rare tap out from Sheamus. Very rare to see a guy of that caliber tap out. I thought maybe we'd get a pass out or a whatever, couldn't continue, but he tapped out. But I thought that, you know, the event was pretty solid, and then this match happened in the match that followed it, and that was really the peak of this show, where these two matches. I thought this match kicked ass, Graham.
Yeah, this was great stuff, and I'm glad it made the pay-per-view too, because they've largely just been having matches on television. It would have been very easy for WWE to put this blow-off on the Raw after Clash in Paris, and it would have gotten a great reaction. It was the same crowd, obviously. But Sheamus has not been in a singles match on pay-per-view. I mean, a real match on pay-per-view, like a actual match, probably since Mania 39 in the triple threat with Gunther and Drew. Last singles match had to have been the one with Gunther at the first Clash 3 years ago, which is insane. And then Rusev, obviously, his first pay-per-view back as well. So I thought they had a really good match. I enjoyed this. You know, it's typical WWE street fight type stuff. No different than the other Donnybrook matches they've done in the last 3 years. A big win for Rusev. And like you said, a rare submission loss for Sheamus. I think Michael Cole said only the second time, not passed out, only the second time he's ever tapped out in WWE. The first one being, he didn't mention his name, obviously, but to Bobby Lashley in 2021. Yeah. And Sheamus has been around since 2009. I was a freshman in high school at that point, and this man debuted in the company. He's only tapped out twice since then. That is insane to me. So he's very much protected, and it was a big deal. Now the key is, can they follow up on it and give Rusev something meaningful to do to capitalize on this win? I hope they can, because I thought this was good. Rusev's not booking, but like his run so far has been kind of there. Like, he's not exactly over, but I think he's been having good matches. Hopefully they can really get him going from this point forward by putting him with like a Jey Uso or an LA Knight, someone that's over like Sheamus that he can benefit from working with.
Yeah. This match for me, man, is it's comfort food. It's whatever comfort food you like. It's always good, right? It's always going to hit that spot. It may not be a 5-star course meal like with all the frills, but you just know, like, when I'm going to make this meal, I'm going to be happy at the end of it. And that's what we got here. And they added the Donnybrook match to it. Like you said, I knew Rusev needed this win more than Sheamus. I've loved Sheamus's interactions with Rusev, though. I've said it since this started. It's kind of like relit a little bit of a spark in Sheamus. You can kind of tell he's really enjoying this run with Rusev. My fear is because and Rusev kind of mentioned it on Monday a little bit in that promo, like, we're like, friend of my friend. Yeah. He's like, will we see them just become a tag team? And I really hope that they don't. They do something different and split these guys off and they both kind of go their separate ways. Like, Rusev would be great in this IC title. Could you imagine Rusev versus Dom?
I could see
now?
That.
You know what
That'd
I mean?
Fun.
Like, that would be a Dominic is, he just beat AJ Styles, but just imagine him standing across from Rusev. I think they could tell a really fun story. So yeah, good stuff, man. Always a good time.
I mean, yeah, if they went to the tag team route, are we even trying to that's just the bar. That's
it's
just
literally the bar.
The problem, the bar. And the only reason I brought it up when I was doing the post show was because the Raw tag division's it's light. Well, to be nice, we'll say it's light. And if these guys are both going to stay on Raw, I don't know if there's a draft coming up. I know there's always rumors of a draft, and I know that the brand split doesn't mean anything, but most of the tag teams are on SmackDown. It's the Judgment Day, the New Day, but I think Woods is hurt right now, so he's not really doing a lot.
Is he?
I heard a rumor maybe
a couple weeks ago. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he's not.
But he wrestled on Monday, actually.
Maybe he's not. Maybe I misspoke, but I thought I heard somebody say. Either way, so that's a Judgment Day, New Day.
They have the Creeds,
the
LWO,
LWO.
They have teams.
The War
There's just
Raiders.
no direction.
The War
Raiders. So they have teams. they just have no direction. Honestly, like I love the idea of Sheamus and Rusev being a team, but it does feel lazy because it's basically the bar. I want Rusev to do something else. I want Sheamus to do something else. I don't hate the idea. I like them as a team, just not right now. You have the Usos reuniting on Raw this past week. I think they're the shot in the arm the division could use. I would not put these two together right now, at least in my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Agree. I would agree. And then we had, we're down to single digits when it comes to John Cena in the farewell tour. This was his last match in Europe. It was him. It was Logan Paul. Listen, everyone knows how I feel about one of these individuals personally, but this match was.
I know the way John
good.
Cena treated Nikki Bella when he lived at that house. What a real piece of shit.
What did John Cena do to you, JPJ? Man,
water goes in the kitchen, John. That's where it's supposed to go. JPJ's not over that whole Total Bellas fiasco.
Yeah, listen, man, it is what it is. I don't feel like we have to always give like a predecessor when we start talking about individuals. Like, but at the same time, dude, like, how many times are we going to watch this guy be put in big matches and he just exceeds all expectations every single time? Like, at some point, you got to just talk about what you're watching on the TV show. And what we're watching on the TV show is a guy who's one of the best people in the company. And he's one of the best heels in the company because he knows people hate him and he leans into it. And he does everything that like a great old school wrestling heel does. Yeah. And he knows. And I loved Kathy Kelly on the pre-show where she was like, well, if you hate Logan Paul or you really, really hate Logan Paul. So like they're even like leaning into it as a company because it is what it is. Yeah, that's how we feel about him personally, mostly. But the dude it'd be
crazy if they didn't lean into it as a company. Like when they they tried to make him a face early.
Yeah.
And nobody was going for it. So them leaning into it was the right move because I think it even adds more to what he does.
Yeah. And he's just unbelievable. He's unbelievable. This match was incredible. And John, these last two matches with Cody and Logan here, like, I understand he was a heel, but what the hell? What the hell? Because why weren't we seeing this from John all fucking year, man? Are you kidding?
That's what pisses me off. Yeah. I don't want to focus on the negative, but it does make me mad after watching this match and the Cody match. Like, the fuck were we doing wasting 5 months of this man's retirement tour with him as a heel?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? I mean, I like the match with Orton. The match with Punk was pretty good, but like, imagine how much better those matches would have been if he was still a babyface. Imagine how much better the promos would have been with John Cena as a babyface. Like the Logan Paul feud, I completely agree, JPJ. Like, some people, like when this match was first announced, people people didn't care, but they were like, oh, why are you wasting these appearances of John Cena on Logan? Why are you wasting a John Cena match on Logan? Because we've never had it before. It's a new match and it's going to be fucking good because people love John and they hate Logan. And that's exactly what happened. They went in there and had a banger match. It was the best thing on the entire show. The Cody match at SummerSlam. So I completely agree with everything you guys have said.
Plus, Logan has that factor now where it's like if he beats John Cena, if they pull the trigger and he beats John Cena on the retirement tour, people are going to lose their mind, even though we know he's not. This match was fantastic. I enjoyed it. John pulled out the entire bag of tricks. There was some botch spots in this match too,
of course,
and that's the thing. Like, they weren't shitting on Cena and Logan for the missed spots that they missed in this match either. But again, I don't know how much these two are interacting with all the outside stuff they got going on. They probably put that thing together. I'm sure that they're really good at this, so they can put it together quick. But yeah, at the end of the day, like Logan's Paul, this shows how much the company and John Cena, because I'm sure John Cena has a say in who he's wrestling on this retirement tour or some kind of direction on it. And I'm sure that him and the company were like, Logan Paul, like, yeah, you may hate him, and rightfully so for some of the things that he's done in his past, but he's damn good at this. So we're going to put him in this major moment. We're going to give him this opportunity. I'm worried, though, at some point, Logan's going to have to start winning some of these big matches. I know he had the United States Championship run, but if you're going to keep putting him in these big-time spots and he keeps losing, I'm going.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I would be shocked if he is not the Money in the Bank winner next year. or like I feel like, listen, and everybody's gonna hate it, and I get it, but how many? He's fought Cody, great match. He's fought Roman, great match. He's fought, he's had these great matches, and he had the Roman match for the title. He fought Cody for the title, 2 good matches. He has a match with Cena, really good. They've given him the 3 top dogs in the whole thing, and he's had arguably some of the best matches that those 3 guys have had. Like, you can make, I think the Cody match with Cena was a little bit better than this, but you can make an argument that this was John Cena's best, match of his return so far. And it is what it is. It is what it is. At some point, he's going to be a future world champion. This is probably the only match in this whole Cena run as well that he's fighting like a younger, like, not
how old is Logan?
He's not young, but in the scope of what we've seen, he's only been around for a few years. Like,
no, but if you look at the top of the card, you're not wrong. I mean, Roman's up there, Punk's up there. Like,
like he fought Orton, he fought Cody twice, he fought,
Owens,
he's fighting
Jey Uso, AJ Styles,
he's fighting these older established guys that have been around for a long time. Logan is like
I wonder where he learned that. His brother Jake.
Yeah, it's just it's just
these
one of those
older
things.
Established guys, 60-year-old Mike Tyson.
It's crazy. And Cena, this was just an excellent match. And I loved how they booked it. They were doing like Logan Paul did a zigzag in this match as a nod to friggin' John Cena did a fucking Styles clash in this match. A Styles clash.
But he still has yet to explain to me why he turned heel in the first place.
Yeah. And then
it made no sense.
Yeah. And
why did we do that thing with The Rock?
Listen, I think they're going to try to just pretend it never happened, to be honest.
It was a bad day, Pluggo. He told us he had a bad day. A bad 4 months. It was a bad day, though.
It's one of those things where still, like, the moment that it happened, that moment, all-time great pull-off, all-time great moment. But then it just, I don't know if the plans they had got foiled or they really didn't have a plan. They were just trying to get up. Because I feel like the problem with WWE and kind of why even me, but people have issue is because it doesn't feel like they have some things where it's like, oh, you're telling a good story here. This is a good story. But it feels like they book more for the moments than they do the actual substance, of what's happening. And I don't know what happened with the post heel turn plans, but it obviously didn't work out. At least if that is how they wanted it to go, then I don't know what the hell they were doing.
They're going to tell us. They're going to tell us this is exactly how they had it planned.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They'll take credit. This was the plan the whole time. We always
that YouTube documentary is, it's going to be like,
that suggests otherwise. Listen, they wanted. I don't work there, so I don't know this is a fact, but it's pretty apparent to me they wanted to turn Cody for the match with Cena, and Cody was like, "No, that shit makes no sense," which it fucking didn't. It made no sense. And then they asked Cena, and Cena just does whatever they tell him, and he's like, "Okay, cool." Which, in theory, honestly, it was interesting. Like when it happened, the angle was amazing.
Yeah.
And the timing was terrible though, because we're at a point now after 20 fucking years, everybody loves John Cena. So now you turn him heel, not in 2010, not even in 2015 or 16. You turn him heel in 2025 when he's retiring in 9 months. In his promos, I don't know if it was his fault or the writer's fault or whoever. The promos were fucking terrible. A lot of them just sucked. They just weren't good. And then he was clearly phoning it in the ring. He was really barely around to hype up a lot of these matches. It was a total waste of time. I appreciate the effort, but it was a total waste of time. And I know he's about to be nominated for an award for his new movie, The Smashing Machine, but fuck The Rock, man. I mean, coming back to steal the spotlight and to be involved in that whole thing. And then, we're going to do this whole mega faction thing, which was implied but not outright said. And then he just disappears and we haven't seen him since. Fuck you, man. I mean, that shit was just, that is absolutely his fault more than anyone's.
I agree. I think no, you're good. I think The Rock, I think, and the way they told the story.
Oh my God, I just noticed you changed your name to Grant in your little tile.
I've had that for a while.
Yeah, no, it's been up there for a while. I was like,
you're the man. Talk about understanding the gimmick, baby.
Yeah, it's just.
I've been trying not to say Grant by accident now. Now
I can't help. Yeah, I can't help but look at it and completely blame Dwayne. I can't, because guess what? Like, we were heading to Elimination Chamber, and I get it. Cena did the post press conference at the Rumble where, kind of a little bit, and then he lost the Chamber and all that. It seemed like they were like, hey man, we need to, the way Nick Khan tells it is we needed to sell tickets for the Chamber. They weren't selling well. So we were like, hey, come in. And it's like, that didn't need to happen.
Maybe the tickets were $1,000 each. I don't know.
Maybe.
Not like that's a factor.
They did the largest gate though they ever did. So God bless them, I guess. But it's one of those things where it just felt like the moment was terrific and it was shocking and it was great. No, but very rare. I didn't see almost any negative feedback when it came to the actual moment of Cena turning heel. It was like, holy shit, they did it. Like, that was incredibly done. It was wonderful. And then there was they gave you one of the worst WrestleMania main events of all time. And then you see the match that these two have at SummerSlam, and you're like, what the fuck was that I had to sit through at WrestleMania? That's what they could do? What the fuck was this?
Yeah.
What was this?
They didn't even try, man. They did not even try because, like Pluggo said, they never explained it. Like, his explanation, the toxic relationship thing, it made no sense. Like, that was my issue with the day that he turned heel, because going into it, people were like, oh, maybe he'll be the one to join The Rock, which he was. And I'm like, that's exciting and all, but if it doesn't make sense, then I don't want to see it. And it didn't make sense. They never at any point really made sense. Because, like, for all that talk of him being like, oh, you loved me for so long, now I'm turning my back on you. Okay, then how am I supposed to feel about him now? Is this not the same guy that was shitting on us 3 months ago? I mean, I love him. Like, we're all going to overlook it because we all realized it was a mistake.
I'm not overlooking it because I'm a CM Punk guy. But that's
I'm a CM Punk guy too. But
in that initial promo after you turned, why they didn't mention The Rock at all? It didn't even bring him up.
No,
like why was he there? Why did you do that? Why has he got this control over you that he could just point at you and you kick Cody Rhodes in the nuts?
That would have made more sense, though. If he was like, oh, The Rock convinced me to do this. I didn't want to, but I kind of had to go along with what he wanted to do. That would have made way more sense.
He's the boss. He's on the board.
Yes.
He threatened to cheat. He threatened to pull the farewell tour, saying it didn't matter, because it's something, but
something. Dude, he was losing on pay-per-view for 7 years. He could have gone the desperate route where it's like, I haven't won in 7 years. I have to turn heel. I don't want to, but I have to. But instead he was like, oh, wah. And he was like full on heel, like a baby, like a fucking whining baby for 3 or 4 months. And the promos sucked. And it's crazy because the guy's an actor and you watch his movies and it's like, he plays a lot of convincing characters, especially as a dick. He has played a bad guy in movies before and seen as not a bad actor at all. He's actually a much better actor than The Rock for the most part. But it's crazy. He was out there and doing this stuff, and it was awful. Like the You People promos, that shit was terrible. I can't believe we dealt with that for so long. It was
just so bizarre. It's like, how do you not mention The Rock at all? The whole reason you turned heel was because of The Rock. He gave you the fucking, he did the thing and you did the thing.
Well, because
and then you don't mention him once.
Nope. The Rock tried to steal Cody's soul and didn't work out. So I'm assuming you moved to John Cena. I can suspend a lot of disbelief in wrestling as long as you give me like a quick explanation and go, okay, fine. Even if it's good or bad, just explain it. I go, okay. If you'd have been like, you know what? I sold my soul to The Rock for this opportunity to get to 17 because I wanted to break the record.
Yeah.
And I knew that I needed a little bit more because I've lost the last 7 years. Make it make sense. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean,
now I sit there and go, oh, he's a good guy now all of a sudden, huh?
Yeah. No, it never happened, I guess. Like, he gained nothing from aligning with The Rock. That's the thing. It's John Cena. Like, we're not talking about Austin Theory here, man. Like, we're talking about the most established, successful superstar of all time or close to it. He gained nothing from aligning with The Rock. And then for The Rock to have the gall to go on Pat McAfee's show a couple days after Mania and be like, oh, I wasn't there. He wasn't busy. He said, I wasn't there because I didn't want to take away from what we got, which was the worst main event in recent years with Travis Scott coming out. We didn't even talk about that. I mean, it just makes me upset all over again.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, that's all. In the moment, I remember the show that we did after Mania, and I was heated because I was like, Travis Scott was it. That's what you thought when you were booking that main event of WrestleMania. You thought that you want to have Travis Scott come out. Cool. I'm all right with that. But he can't be all you have.
Mm-hmm. That
can't be just it. There needs to be
that's
something.
Your ace in the hole.
That's the thing. that I'm supposed to be like, oh, what are you doing, man? Like,
and he
it
never
just
came
felt
back.
like, yeah. And then
He never came back.
No, it was just like, bro, like, again, I don't know if it was because of the Travis Scott thing and how that happened, because I don't think WWE was really thrilled about how that happened with him.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was, I don't know. But basically seeing the immediate shift of when Cena went back to being a babyface the Friday night before SummerSlam through now, it's just like, I appreciate you doing the heel turn. I appreciated the moment. I appreciated the heel turn. I wanted it to be fucking awesome because I thought it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, did you just do it to do it? Or did you actually have a fucking plan in place of how you were going to do it? Because it does not look like you did whatsoever.
They did it just to do it. I mean, the year is not 2012. They missed their chance. If you weren't going to do it then, don't do it now. I mean, especially if you were going to do it, at least have a plan. Like you said, make it mean something, follow through, make it make sense. They did none of that, and it actively wasted 4 months of this man's career where he has almost no dates left. And we got the Punk and Orton matches. I don't want to say it was all bad. We got some good stuff out of it.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was garbage, and it was a complete waste of all of our times. And for us to just pretend like it never happened is insulting to our intelligence. If we're going to shit on Vince for all the garbage that he did, I mean, this is easily the biggest black mark of Triple H's entire creative run so far since taking the book 3 years ago.
Yeah. Real just nuts. Yeah, and then we obviously talked about the main event earlier in the show. I thought the 4-way was good. I actually loved the build all the way up to the 4-way.
It was good, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I'm actually now they're obviously going a different route, but the way they were building it up, like I hope we still get it at some point, but I was looking forward to a CM Punk LA Knight one-on-one match. I want to see that match. Yeah. Hopefully it still happens at some point because, like I said at the beginning, I thought the way they were building it is I kind of expected Roman to get taken out like he did at the beginning of the show. And I thought that Punk and LA Knight were going to be brawling and kind of take themselves out of the match. Yeah. And then the Bronze would come out and then Jay would be by himself because Roman is dead in the hospital. And that's how this would go. But obviously they went a completely different route with the Bronze getting kicked out and the Becky and all that stuff. And now it seemed like on Monday they're heading towards, I know they ended up teaming on Raw, but it feels like they might be heading towards a Jey Uso LA Knight thing, maybe potentially, which I'm not against either. But, the way they built it with LA Knight and Punk over the last month or so, I was really like, that's a match I want to see now. Like, that's a match. I'm very pro LA Knight. I know he's not for everybody, but I really like him. I think at some point they should pull the trigger and give him a title run just to see how it goes. And at some point it needs to be the next fucking time he goes for it, because I feel like we're at a point now where if he gets another title match and loses, I'm not expecting him to win a big match ever again. So, like, it needs to be soon. But again, I thought, we talked about, I thought the main event angle and what happened on Monday was really good. One thing I will say is those French people love AJ Styles, huh?
They really do. He honestly should have just won the title. I don't know. That finish sucked. I'm sorry. I hated that finish.
I was surprised they didn't. I'm surprised they didn't go there. Get even. Now Cena he did the Styles Clash. He mentioned in the post that he can't wrestle all these people, so he was. But you could absolutely wrestle AJ Styles. I think it's available if you wanted to do it. And then having him go after the IC title that he hasn't won yet would have been a fun way to kind of end this run for Cena. But I don't know what the ultimate end game is with Dirty Dom in this IC title run. Like, it's been cool, but it's going to get to this point, and he's doing a good job. But I really thought that Styles was going to get that thing on Monday, and I'm surprised.
I thought so.
I'm shocked that they didn't do it.
Yeah, I thought for sure that AJ was going to win that match. I was like, because I'm expecting Dom to win the AAA heavyweight title at that show. I'm expecting him to beat Vikingo somehow.
Yeah, me too.
And win that belt.
Maybe Stop said that he has to keep it.
Maybe. But I was like, especially when you hear that reaction to AJ, because that's the reaction they gave him last year in the match with Cody. They're singing that song. The building was shaking. Yep. They gave him the same exact reaction again, and you could see how much he was digging it. He was like, this fucking is unbelievable. Yeah. And at that moment, even if you were having Dom win, I feel like if you're in that building and they're doing that again, and if you're in the back, you just go, all right, hey guys, we're going to switch it up a little bit here, and we're going to give it to AJ. Dom can win it back. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I thought there was an opportunity there where that crowd that building, the roof might have actually exploded off if AJ wins. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where they kind of go with that. Well, speaking of the the rumored end for John Cena is in Boston, Saturday night's main event. As of right now, with the matches we've seen, what do you think is the last match, Graham? Where are you leaning?
Well, like you said, it's got to be in Boston. I mean, I know we're biased. We're here in the Northeast. Got to be in Boston. Got to be in TD Garden. Last opponent can go one of two ways. I think it's either Gunther or Drew McIntyre. Now, they were really hinting at the Drew and Cena stuff in the lead up to Logan and Cena, which I liked.
Yeah.
I think regardless of who it is, I would have that person win. They're not going to be buried if they lose, but like, I don't know. I think Gunther can really benefit even more than he already has from being able to claim I retired John Cena and Goldberg in the same calendar year. That's pretty cool. That's
exactly it. That's my pick right now. Is I feel like it should be Gunther. I feel like, and Gunther beats him in his hometown. And that, like you said, we will never hear the end of Gunther being like, yeah, well, in the same few months, even, I ended John Cena and Goldberg. And I think, like Gunther's already at a level of like legend status, I feel like. And I honestly feel like that would even raise him to like, this is an all-time guy. Like, I already feel like that, and I know a lot of people do. But if he does that and he is the last opponent and he does get the victory, which he should, that cements him to me as like, this is an all-time guy in Gunther, and he still has years to go if he wants. I think that would be a perfect last opponent for him. I would love, I mean, how many dates does Cena have now? What's he down to? 8, 6, 7?
And if he shows up at SmackDown tomorrow, that makes 7, I think.
He is booked, right? He is booked?
Yeah, he's tomorrow on SmackDown. He's also in Springfield in a week and a half.
Yeah, house show though, right? That's a house show?
No, I think it's a Raw.
Oh, that's a Raw. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so I think he's Raw, SmackDown the next couple weeks. Obviously, WrestlePalooza, Crown Jewel, Survivor Series, and then whatever the retirement date is. Now that's 6 dates.
So you throw in another Raw or two kind of in the builds to
I would imagine so.
That's where you get. Yeah, so you got it. Obviously, we know Brock is going to be one of those opponents. I feel like they could do Drew and Gunther. You could do both of them. You could do Drew. Why not do Drew in Australia?
That'd be fine right. Yeah, I think that would make sense.
Do Drew in Australia. That's a big match, and then you can do Gunther for the last one there.
Yeah.
Do you think Cena's gonna pull one of these dates? He's just gonna pop up and be like, "I just couldn't resist. I know I only had 6, but I had to be here for this crowd or whatever it may be." Just because it is getting tight. It's getting real tight, and they have to get real creative if they're hard and fast with 7 or 8, whatever's left.
Yeah, you know what I was thinking about? This was weird. Now we know that the last date, has to be in Boston. Like I said, it'd be ridiculous if it wasn't. Did he make they're making all the big deals about last time in Indianapolis, last time in Vegas, whatever. Did he make a last appearance in New York City? I feel like he hasn't been there all year. Like they did do the Raw and MSG back in March. I don't think he was on that show though.
He wasn't.
So I don't think he's made an appearance in New York, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Like he's been everywhere else, Los Angeles, Chicago now, Boston. He hasn't been everywhere, but a lot of the major cities, Dallas. That would be very strange to me if he does not make at least one appearance in New York before this retirement tour is done. I don't know if that's the post-Christmas house show or something else, but I feel like it's got to happen.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I feel like New York is a major city that he hasn't. I find it funny too because he's been on almost every SmackDown for the last month or so, and the only one he wasn't at was the one in Boston.
Yeah, they definitely did that. I noticed it too.
They did that on purpose because I think Boston will be his last match. But they were like, "No, John, you're not going to this one, buddy. All right, you're not going home yet. All right."
He was there. You just couldn't see him.
Yeah, maybe.
Good point.
But we are down. I mean, listen, we're down to the last few months here, but we are down to the last few dates with John, and there are still a lot of matches I would like to see him have. So, yeah, man, it's crazy when you think about it that we're actually down to this is it. This is the last 2 or 3 months. And I know Pluggo, and I mean neither. I was on the Cena sucks side of that chant for a long time of my wrestling fandom, even though he is a local guy and but it's crazy.
Yeah, I say that, but come that last match, but I still respect what the man has done for the business. Like I'm saying it in care. Like I was never a Cena guy.
So you won't judge me and Graham when we're crying together in the building potentially. After
but
he
do I need
loses
to
and everyone's
fly?
giving
Do I
him
need
his
to fly
flowers,
back out to
and I'm just
Boston in
holding Graham.
December
I'm
now?
just like, oh God, Graham. I'm just holding him.
We'll console each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
If there's not video of it, then I will judge. But no, I don't listen. I got teary eyed when Punk came back. I wish I would have gone. I contemplated it, but with the kids, there was something that was going on where I just couldn't make it work. But yeah, I'll be like, thank you, Cena, for everything you did. But he was never my guy, so I'm not that attached to it. But I understand the magnitude of it.
Yeah.
Go CM Punk, baby.
I like that they're giving him one last year at least. I mean, again, my complaints about the heel turn aside, it's nice that we've gotten one last full year of Cena, and has not been on a lot of Raws. I get that, but he has been on every single pay-per-view they've done except for Evolution for obvious reasons. Other than that, he's been on every show they've done, which is pretty amazing. And we've gotten some really good matches out of it, some disappointing ones, but some really great ones too. And we still got a couple more to go. So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to the Brock match. The whole Brock thing, I wasn't a big fan of. I'm still not, but I think the match itself, now that Cena's back to being a babyface, and we know what he's capable of at this stage of his career, putting in his best matches since at least 2017, I think it'll be a good match at WrestlePalooza.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's going to be a good match. It's obviously, the things surrounding. Yeah. I feel the same as you do. I'm not thrilled that they decided to bring the guy back. But we can't sit here and pretend that Brock Lesnar isn't one of the all-time greats to do this as well. So it is what it is. Like I'm not going to be, I would have been perfectly fine if this match wasn't on Cena's farewell tour, but it's going to be a spectacle. It's going to be what it is, and it's going to main event that show on WrestlePalooza, and it's big. Cena's, in my opinion, obviously going to win that. I would think. I would think.
How many losses is he gonna have left? Not all these appearances or matches.
I think the only loss he should have the rest of the way is the last one.
I agree. And then also they said, they mentioned, and you could see in the graphic at Clash in Paris, the Logan Paul match was his 99th win on pay-per-view. He can't retire without getting 100. And it can't be I don't think it should be in the last match. I think it should happen against Brock or Drew or whoever he faces at either WrestlePalooza, Crown Jewel, and Survivor Series. Because even the last match is not a pay-per-view either. That's a fucking Saturday Night Main Event. So he should win one of the next 3 matches.
I agree. And then I think there's real do you think he takes place before we get out of here in a few? Do you think he's in War Games, Cena?
He could be. It depends on what he does. I feel like him in War Games, I said a month ago he would crumble. But like at the same time, he's been killing it the last month. Yeah. So I feel like he might be okay. I don't know. He's never been in it. So
air raid crash off the top of the War Games.
I know. I know. Last year Bronson Reed got injured in the War Games match.
Snap both his ankles.
I actually think that they could be potentially building to like a super team for War. I think that we could be seeing the Vision, and Logan and Drew. That would be the 5, and I think you get CM Punk, Cena, Roman Reigns, Orton, and there's a 5th one that I'm drawing a blank on, but it's another, and Cody.
Yeah, you know what? That kind of works
like
too,
a super team versus those guys.
I mean, it works too because you're not going to get Cena in the ring with most of those guys before he retires. So just put them all in one match. Like for the Punk one, I liked the Saudi match a couple of months ago, but to see them team like in the ring one more time in addition to that, if they're not going to face each other again, that would be the next best thing. Him and Cena, him and Orton, him and Roman. We're not going to see that one-on-one. So actually, you know what? I really like that idea. I would prefer if it was just a 5-on-5 elimination Survivor Series match. Yeah. Like I hate the War Games thing I like, but it's like at this point, it doesn't mean much because it's at the same time every year. But the Vision thing, also the story might make sense with what you're saying. So I think I'd be cool with it.
Yeah. Could you imagine how cool that would be, the super team idea?
That's what I'm saying. Imagine those
if
5
Braun
guys.
Breaker and Bronson Reed weren't taking these L's in these matches, and they were just unbeatable as a group up until they were like, we got a super team assemble to beat these guys. And then they beat them there. Woo.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Well, that's why I'm sitting here with you guys and not right storylines for WWE.
There you go. There you go. All right. And I think that'll wrap it. We'll call it put a bow on it on that. A lot of Cena discussion, obviously, as we're getting to the end.
Grant's got to get to that Enforcers game.
Enforcers.
Goddamn right, Pluggo.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Graham, as always a pleasure having you on. We always look forward to getting you on here. Hopefully we will be chatting up again, like soonish, like as we get to the Cena, towards the end of Cena.
Oh yeah.
And all that stuff, especially if the show's in Boston. We should definitely plan to get you back on here. You're obviously, like Pluggo said at the beginning, anytime you're free, you just hit us. You're welcome. Like, you're welcome at any time. But definitely we'll get you on here as we continue to get towards the end.
I'd kick my mother off the show to make sure you got the spot.
There you go. I mean, that's
a
good spot. That's a good spot to have.
Sorry, dude.
Sorry, Mother Pluggo.
Exactly.
Mama Pluggo.
Mama Pluggo's just going to be to the waist side.
She's gonna stumble across this, and she's gonna call me and be like, "What the hell?"
Yeah,
why you turn on her? Yeah.
Yeah, why are you talking dirt? But Graham, let the people know where they can follow you, where all your content comes out. Just let the people know where they can check all your stuff out.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I appreciate you guys having me on. Always a blast. Thank you for accommodating me on this Thursday. I know we've been talking about it for a while, and this was a lot of fun. You can find me on, just search up Wrestlerant Graham Matthews. I'm on Bleacher Report, YouTube, Twitter, all that great stuff. So find me there, wrestlerant.com. You can find all my reviews, and hopefully not only can we chat soon, but I can also see you guys in person soon. Like I said, JPJ, I'm sure whether we are either doing it as media or buying a ticket, whatever it might be, I will see you at that Cena last match. I have to be at that show.
No question.
And then
are you oh, sorry.
Or go ahead.
Are you trying? I know we don't talk a lot of TNA, but are you trying to go to Bound for Glory? Because Pluggo's coming into Massachusetts for the weekend for that. So Pluggo's going to be in the Massachusetts and the Boston area for the first time ever. And we're hitting up Bound for Glory. I don't know what your plans were.
That is fucking awesome. That is literally what I was about to ask. I was going to ask. I know. I think I said I was going on Twitter. I don't know how we talked about it, Pluggo. But I think you may have responded or you were DMing or something. And I was thinking, did I mix that up with JPJ? Because obviously I know you're from Mass. Like, is Pluggo really coming in for Bound for Glory? I'm thinking misremembering that. But no, you said you are going, which is fucking awesome. I'm sure I will be there. I don't know for a fact right now that I will be, but I'm hoping to go. I've never been to a TNA pay-per-view before, and it's going to be a fun time. We talk about Cena's last couple of matches. We might be seeing the Hardy Boys. We are seeing the Hardy Boys in Team 3D in action against each other.
TLC match.
Yeah.
Is it an actual TLC?
It's a TLC match.
They confirm that tonight?
Yeah, they confirm.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's been going around. They're trying to. They were trying to get Edge and Christian, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But
yeah, probably not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now we're a little busy right now.
Probably not that to happen. But
I'll be there. I'll be there Friday to Monday because we got tickets, and then I found a really cheap flight, and I was like, why not? He's come out to Indy to see me. It's due time that I go out to see him for a show, so it was
only
perfect.
Appropriate. Awesome. So yeah, if you guys are going to be at that show, I'm hoping to be there. So I'm sure we'll run into each other there. I'll hit you up ahead of time too, and we'll figure something out. But yeah, I'm sure I'll see you guys soon for sure in person.
Hell yeah, love it. Pluggo, do the damn thing, my man. Let the people know what you got and where they can find us and you and all that jazz.
It's going to be a special one today because it is my oldest son's birthday. Colin turned 17 today. I can't believe I have a 17-year-old. Happy birthday, son. Honestly, and you know what? He told me a couple weeks ago that he thinks that what we do here and what I do is super cool. Well, buddy, I think you're super cool, and I can't wait to hang out with you. He finished super high in his cross-country race today. I think he won a medal. So shout out to you, buddy. Happy birthday. But you can find me, Pluggo, on all social media platforms. You search Pluggo, my face pops up every Thursday night right here. Love Wrestling with JPJ for Between Two Beards. Go to @B2Beards on all social medias to figure out what we got going on, what we got coming up. You never know where we're going to pop up, who's going to show up on these shows. Heck, we don't even know half the time. Every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. I'm with Blair Pacheco for 4 Exposure. We talk about independent wrestling. We got a lot on the docket this weekend. We got a lot of things coming up at 4 Exposure Pod there. All of my writings and my LPW previews, my top fives, as I need to get back at those. LoveWrestling.ca for all my writings. And yeah, I think that's about everything I got going on right now. Yeah, JPJ, go. I think I'm good.
You can just follow me at JPJ Loves Gaming on all social media platforms. You know you can find me here with my main squeeze right here, Pluggo, every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern for the flagship Between Two Beards.
That's right.
Yep. You can find me over on bodyslam.net every Wednesday night after AEW Dynamite. Me and Jose on the air. Jose Gonzalez do Dynamite up over there. I have a show on the Hive Media twice a week with CJ, The Swarm. And then you can just follow me here. I got some YouTube stuff, and I stream on my own channel, playing video games and all that nonsense. But if you follow me at JPJ Loves Gaming, you'll get all that stuff there. But I'm a little bit of everywhere. But you know, the main spot, the main place you can find me is Thursday nights right here on Love Wrestling with Pluggo and all our fine guests that we have on here. Graham, a repeated return guest that we love having on. So, Graham, thank you once again. Like we said, anytime, my brother, we will always have you on to chat. Thank you. And thank everybody in the chat tonight. And until next week, you guys know the drill. Say hi to Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Hey there, Plugo and JPJ. It's Trent's mom, Sue, and I have a bone to pick with you. So, I understand that you guys are being real idiots and spending your entire monthly budget. You've got to be kidding me. This is not the way to be when you're trying to run a business. Your boss, Spencer, is really pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you. You have some nerve. You know, get a grip. You have to control yourself. You can't just go out and spend all the money that you're making, you two beards guys. Oh no, this is coming out so stupid. Anyway, behave yourselves, or I'm going to cut you off from watching AEW. You're no longer going to get to know, be able to meet my son. What? Or me. I'm sorry, this is like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for being fans.